we want to be able to capitalize, even to how aggressively and desperate their coaching was at some point in times. And that's where I'm just like, with these Pistons, what do you want to see them do from here? Because I'm ready to see them go out there and say, you know what, we have this cap space, we have a little bit of assets to be able to move this thing in a different direction and be able to bolster more a 6 seed type of run rather than a back end of the play-in.
Well, unfortunately, that whole time we weren't on. So you might have to do it all again.
I will do it all over again.
I think.
Jeez. What's JB saying? Are we on or no?
We're on, but I don't know what just happened. Like, it just did not connect. I don't know what just went.
How are the people doing out there, chat family?
We just started 30 seconds ago.
Hey, you know what, man? These Pistons, dog. The one thing, and I'm gonna just pose that question one more time. If we are live now.
Yes, we
Yes.
are live.
Hey, chat family, thank you guys for sticking through some of these technical difficulties and whatnot. Oh, boy, these Pistons, man, they got me talking. I see you in the chat, Tammy Chin. If you guys can, go ahead and smash that like button. As always, you all are the most important part of this thing. But, yeah, what we were talking about with these Detroit Pistons, they did lose 133 to 119. And as Flannel said, it was one of those nut punches, as I said, without a cup at all. And it's one of those things where I'm glad that this is happening to the Detroit Pistons because it exposes and it further magnifies what those weaknesses are. Obviously, the loss of Jaden Ivey is huge, which then puts a little bit more onus on needing to go and get that backup facilitator or two. I don't think they're in a position even to say one can solve the problems right now that they're seeing as it relates to when Cade Cunningham doesn't have the ball in his hands or when he sits down. Beyond that, Flannel, like I was telling you before, they need depth, and more depth. Beyond that, physical depth. I don't know if you guys caught this earlier or not, but they're just at a size disadvantage. They need to change that. Yes, I like what Isaiah Stewart is doing to play above what his size is. I like what Jalen Duren is doing to play a little bit more physical. But you saw last night when Isaiah Stewart got tossed from that game, something changed as it relates to physicality from the front court. They just weren't able to match up. And honestly, J.B. Bickerstaff said that there was a line crossed, and that's why Isaiah Stewart felt the need to defend himself. And J.B. Bickerstaff does believe more needs to be looked at into this. But to me, what I'm seeing in a couple games where you're playing against some rivals who they just sick their dogs. They just brought the dogs out last night, bro. That was it. You look at across the board from Pascal Siakam to Tyrese Halliburton, it was just our guys versus your guys, and you realize we're just lacking just a little bit in some of these departments. And my question is, what do you do? Do you just kind of say, hey, cute season, we'll carry this thing out wherever it goes? Or do you go and you try and punctuate the efforts that these guys are doing? Because I'm not going to crush the Pistons. They're still exceeding expectation. But if you're Trajan Langdon, who did say, you know what, they're a little bit ahead of schedule, and this does make me rethink our trade deadline expectation. Do you go now and say, you know what, no, we have the assets necessary to go and make fill a couple of these weaknesses right now, take care of these things, and have this Pistons team solidly be competing for the 6th seed?
That is as tough of a question as you can pose right now, and that's why it's such a good question, because we've seen in these last 3 games, they go to Orlando, they go to Cleveland, they go to Indiana, and they really don't look like they belong in those teams' classes, even though when you look at the Magic, you look at the Pacers, they're kind of similar to them in the standings, certainly the Magic, but you look at a fully healthy Magic team, well, they're never going to be fully healthy because Mo Wagner's out. If you got Franz, if you got Powell, if you got Jalen Suggs, you got veteran pieces like a Wendell Carter, they're going to go on a run. They're not going to be hovering around 500. They're probably going to finish at least 7-8 games above. And you look at the Indiana Pacers. I said yesterday that they were having a bit of a disappointing season. I think I should rephrase to they started out disappointing, but they are on a tear as of late. And they punctuated that tear last night. Did you see Pascal Siakam, or should I call him Pascal Durant last night? And don't get me wrong, Pascal Siakam on his own is a great player, but last night, he was on a heater of all heaters. Tyrese Halliburton looked like the Halliburton of last year. Miles Turner, again, 24 points against us, 20 points against us again. Miles Turner, in my opinion, is playing better than I've ever seen him in his entire career.
50% from behind the arc,
unbelievable.
56% from the floor. Flannel, and the reason why I was like, you know what, man, looking at that game, it was everything you said. when
Yeah.
it was in defense of Cade Cunningham, the all-star, and
Yeah.
don't use this aspect of what he is or isn't doing record-wise versus some other people around his draft class, because you just mentioned a whole bunch of people who are far better.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner would instantly become our top 2 and 3 player on this team.
Yes.
Instantly.
Yes,
That's
instantly.
what I'm saying. So Tyrese Halliburton, he has the luxury of honestly just being able to have that. When Cade has that is when I do believe this Pistons team takes that giant leap forward, and I don't believe it needs a lot. You see this right now, bro. They gave him 3 vets, and they say, hey, we need you guys to basically have the effect of 1.5 vets. They got that, and this team took a step forward into its playoffs. That's where I'm like, okay, as you approach this trade deadline, I'm really hoping that the thinking is more or less along the lines of, since you've already assessed and already had planned to say, you know what, we're going to take our time, let them develop this year. You already have that plan in tow. Why not see and explore a little bit more of what it looks like if you start to rev the pedal just a little bit? Take advantage of Cade, who has all this hype going right now and is going to be coming off of an all-star appearance. Take advantage of the heater that you see Malik Beasley on right now. Take advantage of the fact that we see Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren trying, but they need just a little bit more behind them as it relates to physicality. And Chase's point, to hear your point, they're going to have to do something at that 4th spot, Flynn.
Yeah.
That man.
Well, and unfortunately, it continues to rear its ugly head at inopportune moments. But the reason why I mentioned the other teams, and I think you are spot on with a lot of what you're saying. The reason I mentioned the other teams is that it's clear that the Pistons aren't on those levels as currently constructed, certainly with Jaden Ivey
I gotta
out.
admit it.
At this point, if you're the Pistons organization, certainly with the Jaden Ivey injury, if you want to trade for somebody who would help this team and maybe even be on an expiring contract, and then you do what you want with them next year, I'm fine with that. Don't you almost owe it to Cade Cunningham at this point? I get it. I get it. The Pistons aren't going to win a championship no matter what. We all understand that. But I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons right now. I'm looking at their schedule. I'm looking at their next 6 games at home. I'm looking at then 2 at Chicago, who stinks, and then at Atlanta, at San Antonio, and then 4 more at home. This is a time where they could really make a run and take advantage of some of these more winnable games. Certainly in the NBA, you never know what can happen, but this on paper looks like a stretch where they could make a run. It's going to happen right in the middle of the trade deadline. Actually, there's a lot more games left in this stretch after the trade deadline where you can make that move. You could maybe get a secondary ball handler or more size. Who knows? Who knows who's available, but they could do this. They could be the 6 or 5 seed. They could be in the playoffs instead of the play-in. They could challenge teams like maybe the Magic or maybe the Pacers or pass the Hawks, leave the 76ers in the rear view if they are successful on this run. But right now, they're lacking. Like you said, size, depth, backup facilitation. This is a team, if they don't fix some of these needs, might end up at the 9 or 10 seed of the play-in, regardless of what their schedule looks like right now.
Regardless, and it's like, you take that, and you said it's a step forward.
Sure.
But just from the things we hear from guys like Cade Cunningham, from the things we hear from guys like Tim Hardaway, even Isaiah Stewart, you take that, I just don't know how much that would just rest with them as success. When you know these are the teams that we're competing with. I sat in that press conference room and saw Jalen Duren's face. I sat in the press conference. Hey, look, bro, the video, we posted it again of JB Bickerstaff saying, this is what they want. This is how it's going to be. And they showed up. And you can see that it's almost like, when you're fighting with your little bro and you know that you have the physical size advantage, but he's fighting. And he's fighting. And you tip the cap. The Pistons were fighting. But there was just a difference there that I'm hoping as the season goes on you fix. Because I just don't think that that's something you wait on. I don't. There are certain things maybe you wait on and you see, but when you can go and you can fix the physicality of the team, it's the reason why I've been screaming this for several years. They need a Thomas Bryant type of a player.
Oh, man.
I think I've been saying this for years when he was with Miami. I was like, they need to do something to get this player. And I remember I said it on the pod with Rod when we used to do it back there in Studio B, and people thought I was tripping. And it's just like, it's not about if I think he's going to go out there and give you 30 minutes, but we need that type of DNA. When we have those type of guys on the Lions, we're like gung-ho. Who's the Pistons' Malcolm Rodriguez right now?
They don't really have it.
They don't have.
They don't have it. And that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
close.
They don't
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
Like, that's where I think you have to make a change there and with the backup facilitation by the deadline to be able to bolster this thing, or else you have a whole nother year of really a frustrated K. Like, I'm glad he has Beasley here, but without Jaden Ivey, it's lacking. Those last 3 games, I think that you at least get one of those if Jaden Ivey's healthy.
It is so funny that you talk about somebody like Thomas Bryant, and I'm not even saying he's available, and we've talked about somebody like Lonzo Ball. These are names that you can look at and instantly scoff at as, Lonzo Ball, he's injured. I mean, he's been hurt. What is he really going to bring to this team? He's not even going to play 20 minutes. Or you can look at a Thomas Bryant and just be like, okay, big deal. He's just Thomas Bryant. But if you put Thomas Bryant and Lonzo Ball on this team right now, I'm very confident that in these next 14 or 15 games, the Pistons could win 10 of them. And it's just those type of role players. And Thomas Bryant, he's got a little bit of an offensive game too. Mm-hmm. He's got a skill set, and he can shoot the 3 a little bit, although he doesn't really attempt them that much. But, he's got an underrated little offensive game too.
Yeah. What up, though, KG? Detroit's #1 draft pick in the building, man. Hey, it got the twist fresh and everything. Look at my fly guy over here after you got the job with the Lions.
No, Phil didn't like it, man. So, Phil, if you in the chat, if you don't like my hair, you can gladly give me $300, and I'll go get it professionally done somewhere else. So, but no, and I want to double back on what you said, revving the pedal a little bit, like after I get done with this, because I want to know what your definition of that is going into this trade deadline. But first and foremost, the Pistons-Pacers rivalry is back in a big way.
Yes.
And I thought that second tech on Stu was bullshit. I'm sorry. Thomas Bryant, I get it. I do understand why they called it, but it just seemed like he sold it to me. Like, I don't think Isaiah was really, trying to be that physical with him. I think he did a great acting job.
It's also his reputation as well, though.
Yeah, but, it is what it is, man. But when you lose Isaiah Stewart, that shouldn't be the source of your physicality, and that's what it's starting to seem like. And don't get me wrong, you do get Jalen Duren from time to time, but he just hasn't been a constant, pillar of just consistent defense and pressure. So when you lose B. Stu, that's a big hit for this team. And I agree with what you're saying. They do need more physicality. Like, I'm just not ready to, and this is why I didn't necessarily want to change my expectations for the Pistons. Even in the face of them doing so well, I've always been, okay, I'm sticking with the 35 wins, and anything we get after that is a bonus at this point. As a fan and as the organization, I wouldn't panic just yet. And I do understand, we all knew this team wasn't a complete roster coming into it. Have they played a little bit above their means? Yes. Mm-hmm. And does it suck not having Jaden Ivey on the floor? Absolutely. He was your second leading scorer, and when you had him on the floor, he was playing defense as well. You got a little bit better version of the Pistons team that we got now, but you're going against an Indiana Pacers team that is one of the upper teams in the Eastern Conference, and their dogs are just better than our dogs right now, and we just have to accept that. They came to play last night. They gave us all they had because this rivalry is so deep right now. And I'm not panicking as a fan. Now, do I want to see them make a move at the deadline? Absolutely. I think you have to do something. It would be criminal if you didn't, only because of the position that you're in as a facilitator. Most of the big deals will have to go through Detroit. And there's a good chance that you can get some low-cost pieces or even draft capital, because you're just a facilitator in a 3 or 4 team deal. But ultimately, I like the pace that this team is on still. I think they just had a bad night last night. The last few games, they haven't really had the same physicality that they normally play with. And they got outshot last night. So I'm not rushing to panic just yet. But Kool-Aid, I do want to know, what is your definition of revving the pedal a little bit? Is it a bigger move? Is it, just going out, getting that backup facilitator or another big or just another physical presence to come off the bench? What is revving the pedal to you?
One, it's not standing pat, because this is the one thing. You will stunt your young players' development if you have a lack of physicality. And it's not about panicking. It's more or less about making sure that what you have around your guys is enough to get benefit by the end of the season, no matter what your record is. And if you have your guys stepping out there at a physical disadvantage night after night after night, that can and will stunt the mental aspect of the game, the development you want them to have. What happens when they're stepping out on the court with the Pacers game after game after game, and you're getting your butt kicked, no matter what people think they are, that plays a big factor. And so I do believe that some part of when I say revving the pedal, it means don't stand pat. Don't just say, hey, you know what, we're kind of already above and beyond where we thought we'd be. We have an acute season, so we're just going to take people's junk so we can acquire draft capital.
And I agree with that.
I believe that you either need to go out if there's an opportunity to swing for the fences on like one major bucket getter, no matter where that person plays on the court, you got to do it. Or if you have the opportunity to go more cost effectively and play that part that you were speaking of and be able to pick up a backup facilitator and another front court player that has a size advantage, that's what I'm saying when I say rev the pedal. I not necessarily push the pedal to the metal, but do something to be able to make this team a little bit more balanced when you're talking about development and such. Yeah. What Jaden Ivey provided was that little extra spurt to be able to help this team overcome the fact that they didn't have that type of physicality. So you got Jaden Ivey being able to go in the fourth quarter and go on streaks where he's putting up 8 points in a row because they can't stop the downhill, off-ball screen when Cade is attracting all of the gravity. Now that you've lost that, and Beasley also off in the corner keeping another defender honest. Now that you've lost that, they've lost a whole lot. And you're right. When Isaiah Stewart goes out, and I've been saying this about the Pistons people who support Woodward Pistons know I've been saying this for a while. Get the size here. They just have not. And that to me is where it's just like,
yeah. And Paul Reed has not been enough. I do get why they signed Paul Reed. They was hoping he could maybe play that role, but once again, another undersized guy, and he just has not really been able to go out there and defend at the level that you would like. So, but no, I totally agree. Like, you cannot stand
what
pat.
You're saying too.
You can't stand pat at this trade deadline. Absolutely not. It would be criminal if they did.
No, we're in kumbaya with it. It's just, for me, these are things just like when you write these things for 2 years in a row and you still see them as some of the issues, and you're not even saying, like, realistically, go out there and get me a star or two. Right now, it's like, well, I've always written this. If you're not going to get me a DeRozan, a Levine, or Ingram, or this or that, then just get me a Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
Buy on Nick Claxton before the deal re-upped when he was available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get something like that. And at this point in time, I've pushed back. But go get Cam from the Nets at this point in time.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that either. I think I'm just at the point now where I like where this team is trending. I do like the direction that they're headed. And I think even as presently constructed, the very least we should get as a play-in appearance. So I'm more in the line of make the big move in the offseason. Maybe at the trade deadline you do get some draft capital. I would love another player in here. Don't get me wrong. We need another player in here.
It becomes much more doable in the offseason for that big player.
Exactly. So I would much rather wait for the big move in the offseason. But Sam, go ahead. Or
JB,
JB, sorry.
What was Sports MVP?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to this because, as you said, I believe this Pistons-Pacers rivalry is getting better over the years. It's starting to heat back up once again. Last night was apparently WWE night. So you guys should have known that there was going to be a fight happening at some point in time.
I hope y'all covered this on Woodward Ringside too, man.
I mean, we can touch on it a little bit. And I want to show you guys this because after that game, one Mr. Miles Turner went on his Twitter and posted this to one Isaiah Stewart as a troll.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So
Legos.
Just know that this rivalry is not done, and this is gonna get spicy.
From that perspective, I love all of this because this gets my pulse going, bro. This is that, like, ooh, like, I don't even know if people of this generation understand it beyond just what they remember. Like JB Smooth and I, we got the opportunity to interview Ron Artest. Like, you know what I'm saying, and ask him about Asar Thompson and be able to see kind of this rivalry starting to percolate. I love it.
No, they need that.
Oh, man. Speaking of Miles Turner,
I just hate losing to them.
I am going to be seeing pick and pop jumpers and pick and pop threes in my nightmares for the foreseeable future.
Remember when he was available a few years ago, and Pistons fans, a lot of us scoffed. This was about 4 or 5 years back when they were breaking things down. I'm just like, wow, what did we do?
It would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
Put
But
Miles
also,
Turner on-
perimeter defense would also be nice because you can nullify a lot of that by just playing better perimeter defense.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But
50% from three that's unforgivable.
I'll just say this though:
They dogs were out, bro.
Yeah.
There's another person who should be seeing those in his nightmares, and his name is Mr. Jalen Durham. But that's neither here nor there. Well, actually, it very much is here and there. But I think to tie a bow on this conversation, I don't know if I've ever seen a conversation where both of you guys make so many good points to where you can't really go wrong either way, because you're right, KG. How could you be mad if this team wins like 35 games in like a macro level in terms of where they were? You can't really get mad, but at the same time, I get where you're coming from, where you're worried about the growth of the young players. And I understand too that at some point you can't just let it be such a Cade carry job again. And I get it. There's more help. You got Beasley, you got Tim Hardaway Jr., obviously, but you don't have that secondary ball handler. And, you know, some of the young guys like Asar and Ron Holland, they're not really shooters. So you don't want that to have to happen again. And I certainly don't want any negative narratives to get out about Cade if they don't win, even if he's putting up great numbers and up carrying them. So I think you guys are both right in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Cade had 9 assists. The next highest, Jalen Duren, with 3.
Oh,
That's
wow.
And on that note,
That's what I'm saying. It's bad. Let me see the next guard. Tim Hardaway had 2. Beasley had 2.
that's I have a feeling that could end up being a little too common if the Pistons don't do something about it.
That's just not good for development, man.
No, it is not. No, it is
keep
not.
That ball moving.
But do you know what is good for development? The Winter Blast.
Hey.
You'll develop a fun side. I am not even.
You tried it, bro.
Yeah, you tried.
Sorry. Can't get
We
them all,
rock
man.
with you. Hey, roll that back real quick. Punch record again, man. Punch record. All right, good.
Woodward Sports welcomes the Winter Blast, presented by Soaring Eagle
There we
Casino
go.
and Resort, starting
Keep this
Friday,
tape.
January
Yeah, I got
31st, and goes through February 2nd in downtown Royal Oak. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show will be down there from 2 to 4 on this Friday. Don't miss cool events, including free ice skating, spectacular ice sculptures, live music and heated tents, marshmallow roasting, food trucks galore, and thrills from a 300-foot zip line. And best of all, admission is free. For info, go to winterblast.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Football's biggest game is right around the corner. Make sure you're ready to get the most out of your favorite sports with the best sports book made in Michigan for Michigan. I'm talking about Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Fund your online account with cash. No need to link a bank account or credit card, and get a 100% deposit matchup up to $1,000, along with 50 free spins as well too. Visit playeagle.com or look for Eagle Casino and Sports on your Android or Apple device today.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you all for kicking off this morning with the WUW Crew. And I know that if you guys were like me, you probably woke up to the news of what happened in the DMV area of the plane crash. And you know, I see Greg 2025 in the chat. Man, I'm sorry, brother. He says I lost a friend in that accident.
Jeez. Yeah.
Chase,
Condolences.
I know that you had some of the details about what went down. Just before we go on, man.
If you haven't heard, if you aren't aware, yesterday in the Potomac, or over across the Potomac River, a local regional flight from Wichita, Kansas, was collided with a Black Hawk Army helicopter carrying 3 passengers. The plane carrying about 60 passengers, with a crew involved as well. And so far in the recovery, about 27 or 28 of the bodies are recovered. None of them are expected to have survived. It is a very sad instance and accident that has taken place, and it seems that in the involved, there's figure skaters from the U.S., coaches, also like Russian figure skaters and coaches as well. So quite a lot of people involved. Some like just information about the river itself in regards to like for this hopeful recovery for everyone involved. Like the Potomac River is very fast flowing. The release is about just under 11,000 cubic feet of water every second. So it is going to be a lot of work for this search and rescue, but hopefully with the combined efforts of the region, just Maryland, Virginia, the District of Columbia, that some type of closure will be found for the victims.
Yeah, definitely. Man, this is so sad, man. My heart goes out to all of the victims, everybody that's been affected by this. And I saw one news report where a person was literally waiting at the airport to pick up his friend and got the notification. And it's just, man, my heart goes out to everybody who's been affected by this final.
That's an effing nightmare. I will just say that. And obviously hearts go out to those who passed, but there's a reason why, and even if it's a little bit irrational, why there are people out there who have a deathly fear of flying, because that's the type of stuff that collide mid-air with a military helicopter. I mean, that's the stuff that you can't even write movies about. It's so tragic and so just random and ridiculous. I don't even know what to say.
It's crazy that in 2025, stuff like this is still possible. Thoughts and prayers and condolences to everybody involved, because that is a horrible tragedy. And just
it is, and as Chase talked about, like the person on the news story, his whole thing was, I hope they can at least find my friend in the Potomac. I'm hoping and praying too, man, so that people can get as much closure as they're seeking. So goodness gracious, man. And you know what, let's just we'll just take a quick one, JB Smooth, and then we'll come back. But again, as KG said, and as the rest of the cast crew has said, our thoughts, our prayers. I wish there was even more tangible things that we could do. I usually try to keep my eyes peeled for things when they need support, financially and things of that nature, whatever. But at the very least, I know that we're going to be praying and hoping for the best from this point. So,
how do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Man, definitely, man. Thoughts, prayers, and our hearts still go out. It's just still on my mind. But chat family and Greg especially, man, our heart goes out to all of you all. When we say this, you guys are truly the most important part of this thing. And we are feeling for you, Greg. And hope that I saw that. I believe he's actually traveling out that way. That you have safe travels as well, and that you're able to be a sense and a source of comfort for all those that are affected within your sphere and your circle. But man, you know what? We're gonna get into the next topic here as it relates to Mr. Levi Ownzurikie. Before the season started, he was one of 2 Detroit Lions players on a defensive line that Kevin Zeitler said was one of those $20 million men. And now the question is this. You know what? He had a pretty good season this year, but where is this trending for Levi O and the Detroit Lions?
Man.
Not 20 million.
No. Great. I was just about to say that, but you
I hate to be that guy.
No, you are absolutely right. Not 20 million. I will say this though. Levi Ownzurikie is somebody who I certainly have, I know others have, dismissed as, yeah, we're going to get him for this year, but he's certainly somebody that we're going to have to let walk, given, you know, you paid your quarterback now, you paid Amon-Ra, you paid Penei, you paid Aleem, you're looking to maybe pay Hutch, Brian Branch down the road, Kirby Joseph. At some point, you can't pay everybody. However, Levi Ownzurikie was pretty good this year, and the ironic thing is that Levi Ownzurikie, somebody whose career was so derailed by injuries. I mean, in 2022 and 2023 combined, he played a combined 10 out of 34 games. He missed a whole season. He had a back injury, which people were worried was going to be debilitating. But this 2024 season, while all of his mates on the defense, the Aleem McNeils, Aiden Hutchinson, Malcolm Rodriguez, Marcus Davenport, Mekhi Wingo, etc., Carlton Davis were going down, Levi O was one of the guys who played every game. He missed one. He played 16, and he played pretty damn well. I mean, believe it or not, Levi Ownzurikie was 15th amongst defensive tackles in the NFL in pressures with 45. That's pretty good. I mean, considering who he is. No, he's certainly not going to get $20 million, but you have to ask the question, is he worth looking into? Would a Levi Ownzurikie take a discount? Would another team overpay for him? Because Levi Ownzurikie is a valuable commodity. If you're a team like, say, the Cincinnati Bengals, you might have made the playoffs with Levi Ownzurikie last year, even though you don't think of him in that light. But a team like that who needs help on the defensive line, would somebody overpay for him? Would he take a discount for the Lions? If somebody does want to overpay for him, he probably wouldn't take one with the Lions. So Levi Ownzurikie, I think, is one of the biggest question marks for this offseason, and it could go a myriad of ways.
Man, you do bring up something interesting when you talk about the attention he may receive from outside.
Sure.
Obviously, you don't know what Aaron Glenn is thinking, but the reports are already, not only has he looked at maybe a coach or two, but he's also talking about being able to pick up a couple players from this Lions defense as well. And that's where things do get a little bit interesting, because if that's the case, and you know these guys are getting raises, and it could put a little bit of a stunt, like you said, in the Detroit Lions plans. But Brad Holmes, I know that this is a GM who not only do we trust everything that he's going to bring to the table, but we know that this is a guy who's well prepared. He already said, guys, we're happy with this season. We're not for cute seasons. We are for the longevity of this type of success. And from that standpoint, we've seen them be able to overcome certain types of adversity. And I do believe that one of those is where they're at right now. Up to this point, we were all wondering, okay, Brad Holmes has passed with flying colors. Now what is he going to do now that his guys need the paycheck? He went and he ponied up. And we said, okay, what is he going to do at the trade deadline when we need it? He went and got us Zadarius Smith, who honestly the team has ultimate control over as it relates to his cap situation. And so as it relates to a Levi O, whether it's a situation where he's here or not, I do believe that Brad Holmes already has steps 2, 3, 4, and 5 lined up.
No, it's you know he does, and you know he probably has a number that he won't exceed.
But what's your number for Levi O? Because I heard as soon as I talked about Kevin Zeitler's $20 million man, KG was like, not no more, basically.
Yeah.
Where is that number that fits? Because you can't dismiss what you brought up as it relates to him taking that step forward this year and actually being on the field, and not just being on the field, but making a big difference.
Well, before I give that number, I've got even more context to bring up that is in favor of Levi Ownzurikie potentially staying here at the right price. You look at Aleem McNeil. Aleem McNeil tore his ACL on December 15th. Is he going to be ready for the start of the season? Maybe. Is he going to be 100% by the start of the season? No. When is he going to be 100%? You don't know. With those 300-pounders up front, those knee injuries you worry about a little bit more. DJ Reader's 30. He has an injury history. Mekhi Wingo is coming back from an injury. You look at Aiden Hutchinson coming back from one, although I don't expect him to have any ill effects. You look at guys like Kyle Pecco and John Kaminsky, who are UFAs. They're probably going to walk for nothing, because why would you want to keep them? Yeah. You might actually need a Levi O on this defensive line to start next year more than you think. That being said, this is the NFL. This isn't Monopoly. This isn't Madden. I think Levi O has to go. I think he's going to price himself out. I think a team, like I said, like a team like the Cincinnati Bengals, who could use somebody on the defensive line, maybe even the Washington Commanders or somebody like that, who could use Levi O on the defensive line, who could help them stop the run a little bit more. I think he might be a higher priority for those teams. They might overpay for him, because if you're the Detroit Lions, you got to look in the future with guys like Hutch, Kirby, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. I mean, that's the blessing and the curse of drafting so well. You can't keep everybody. And Levi O, to me, unless he takes a big discount, is somebody who's going to price himself out of Detroit.
KG, what up, though, brother?
Yeah.
I see you in there deliberating, man.
Nah, I mean, ain't much deliberation on my end. Me and Sam is kind of in lockstep with this one. And let me start by saying, like, would I like to keep a Levi O as a key reserve? Absolutely. Especially considering the season that he had. But there are just some concerns, man. One, you need to see it more, because we've only gotten 1 year of this. Every other year that he's been here has been either injury riddled, he hasn't been on the field, or he hasn't really produced. So as much as I would love to keep him, it just all depends on the number. And I think that's where, Flannel Sam is saying you might have to cut bait, because this is a guy going into his second contract, and you can't expect him to really take a pay cut in regards to getting that second contract, even though he is a backup, on the defensive line. But he has a chance to maybe go out on the market and, dare I say, maybe even start for a desperate enough team. But he would definitely be a key reserve elsewhere, like if you were to go with Aaron Glenn and his team. So it's just, we're getting to the point where, and I said this yesterday, some of these players that took a little bit longer in their development, and I look at guys like Levi O, Iffy, Derek Barnes. These are guys that we like as Lions fans and that have contributed, but it took them so long in their development, or they're just in a space where they're only specialists in one area, to where you might have to cut bait with them, especially a Levi O, who might command a decent amount of money. And how much money do you really want to play for a reserve defensive tackle?
It feels like the antithesis of Jonah Jackson. To me, that's what it feels like. Like when I as I'm hearing you guys talk more and more about it, and you guys already know, like I'm really hoping they go out there and find some type of impact defensive line player. Yeah, you can put yourself in a position where you're not cashing out, and you can go and, like they did last year, they took a couple offensive linemen and told Jonah Jackson, hey, you know what, enjoy that bag, man. We helped you get noticed. If that's what the Lions are going to be, and their success isn't, stunted because of it, then so be it, because this is what good teams do. And Levi O might be one of those casualties of not just his team's success, but his success as well.
Yeah. He's
going to benefit for it.
He is. What if somebody wants to give him $17 million a year? Yeah. I would hope not, but
I'm not doing that.
I'll tell you what, though. Levi Ownzurikie, with his set of skills, with the impact that he could make on a team, there are desperate teams out there. There are desperate teams that think that, and I keep bringing up the Cincinnati Bengals, that probably feel like they're a Levi O away. I don't know their cap situation. I know that as an organization, they've tended to be on the cheaper side, but Levi Ownzurikie could be of service for a team. But we all know, especially when it comes to the Jonah Jackson thing, that what the F were the Rams doing? And I think the Rams are a very, very smart organization. They've drafted extraordinary well over the past few years, but I could see that Jonah Jackson wasn't worth $17 million a year.
But that's why your point is so valid.
Yeah.
That's why it brought it to mind, because you're right. There's going to be a team out there that can do exactly like we saw a good organization, like the Rams just do. We don't know how desperate these teams get as it relates to, man, we need depth, we need this. All of a sudden, he becomes a guy who just say, you know what, if he's trending in the right direction, maybe he's worth the investment. Because we know that Levi O is in that place that I feel like for the Lions, he has come to be at a discount before another team. I think he is looking for that deal to be able to help set him up more. I don't think he's looking to take a discount to leave Detroit. I wouldn't expect that.
What can the Lions realistically pay him? What can they justify paying him? Probably less than other teams. And if you're Levi Ownzurikie, I mean, you've made a second-round pick, rookie contract money. What he could make, even Levi Ownzurikie,
a desperate enough team, I'm telling you,
generational wealth right there.
Yeah.
You could earn that, and some team, I think, my prediction is some team is going to overpay for him, and he's going to walk, and it's going to be okay. Like if he's going to walk, Derek Barnes is going to walk. They're all going to walk because you got players who play those same positions that are higher priority. I mean, what are they going to do with Jack Campbell down the road? Just so many people that you're like, you just can't pay everybody.
And I'm not mad, because if he has an opportunity elsewhere to possibly start, you can do that. You're not going to be that here unless there's an injury or something of that nature. So, I mean, I'm not mad at him if he does walk. Would I like to keep him? Once again, yes, I would. But it just all depends on the number. And we all know Brad Holmes to be a very shrewd GM, even in the face that, we like to take care of our own. And, I'm sure they would like to keep him as well, but it's all about that number.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it's not a situation where it's like they're just throwing people to the wolves, man. There are situations and opportunities for them out there.
It's business, though.
It is business. And that's the component of it that I do know this. If there's a discount to be had, he's going to be a Detroit Lion. But the way that we've seen the NFL work, I agree 100% with you. There's going to be some team that pays him something like, I'm not saying he's going to get $17 million, but similar to the Jonah Jackson situation, someone's going to pay him more than all of us. Because when we heard that number for Jonah Jackson, we were like, oh, no, man. Enjoy your time out there in the sun, brother. And that's where I'm just like, with this situation, I like Levi O. I do. But if someone's going to pay him, go and take that bread. And if you're telling me that you can get a couple young defensive linemen on this team through the draft, I'm okay with that, especially if it's Brad Holmes' assessment.
Absolutely. And I want to pivot because I really want to talk about this Tigers and the Tommy Kahnle signing. If we have to, we got a really nice Jahmyr Gibbs segment cooked up for tomorrow. But
please break it down for me, Flano, because every move that's not Alex Bregman, I get more and more pissed as the day goes on.
I'm just gonna say, there's like I said, an alter ego that really popped up a lot during last season's Tigers is back.
Is it the fire AJ Hinch alter ego?
Why you gotta do that?
Is it Winker Mania?
You had a lot of.
It's there may or may not be some a subset of that, but what do we got? 1,800.
1,800. You guys mind if I clean up a super chat just real quick?
Please.
Absolutely.
I want to give a special shout out to Randall Smalls for sending in $20 right here. He says, every day you're gifted 24 golden hours. What you do with it is up to you. Once wasted, they are gone forever. I lost 3 friends in 91 in the same car accident, 3 funerals in the same day. Hold on one sec. Said nothing. Actually can't read that bottom of it. I don't know why it didn't pop up on here, but nothing is given, not next day, not next hour, not next minute. So basically cherish every single minute that you have on this earth right now.
Definitely. Thank you for that, Randall Small.
Appreciate you, Randall.
Whew. And what friends you want to say what up though to JB Smooth?
Let's do Sabbath Coffee.
Okay. Fuel your Detroit sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're getting up for a big game or saving a quiet morning or kicking things off with the WUW Crew and Woodward Sports, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. All you got to do is head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and wine, support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Almost forgot.
Nah,
Exactly
my
like you
bad.
said during the
I thought
break.
we would start with the other read first, but 1800 Tequila is the official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and the post-game show, and of course they are the proud sponsor of your and our Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila, and please, everybody out there, drink responsibly.
Definitely drink responsibly, because after you get that 1800 tequila, we got to make sure you guys are treating Lady Jane's hairstylist with respect and with dignity.
Yes.
Because at Lady Jane's, we take the pride of getting a haircut. Our talented stylists deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage. My favorite, that hot lather neck shave, man.
Okay.
Look, man, my neck is on fleek, bro.
Getting a little too comfortable.
And a hot
what
towel
happened after the
treatment.
1800.
And a hot towel treatment,
Towel
man.
placement varies.
Hey, ask first, y'all. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is wicked awesome. Welcome back, chat family. And you know what? I'm so glad the final say, you know what? Pivot. Hey, shout out to Flannel. I know that he's a Friends fan.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, and he brought the Tigers segment up to right now, and I'm with KG. You have to break this down because I am where everybody else is. Obviously, except for Chris Illich and Sky Harris, everybody else is on the whole bring us Bregman or bring us nothing at all. But so you gotta have to break down this deal, because I did see this though. Like the baseball knowers out there, they were all for this deal.
Well, that's because he's a damn good relief pitcher. It has been for a couple of years. The Tigers signed relief pitcher, righty, formerly of the New York Yankees, had his best two years in the last 2 years. Tommy Kahnle, who is best known for having just a wicked changeup, and you see the terms of the deal are 1 year for $7.7
Good old
million.
Tigers 1 year deal, boy. It never fails.
Hey,
Never fails.
but I
He
like
can finally grow out facial hair.
I like to see this particular move, because we know that the bullpen could be one of the strengths of this team. And you look at Tommy Kahnle, just what he did last year: 42 2/3, 2.11 ERA, 114 WHIP, 9.7 strikeouts per 9 innings, which means he misses bats, and a 190 batting average allowed. JB, we posted some things, examples of Tommy Kahnle's wicked changeup. Look at this. Look at that. Absolutely unhittable. Right here, it looks like that looks like the changeup. One of them is a
Play-by-play
four-seam.
Frozen.
When he spots it, man, he's absolutely unhittable. I think he's sprinkled in a four-seam right there. Look at that. Swing and a miss. When he's commanding that changeup, it is almost as unhittable to me as Mariano Rivera's cutter. And I'm not saying he's Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
just,
big
but a
praise, though.
2.11 ERA is pretty damn good, and Tommy Kahnle mostly lives and dies through the changeup. Although, as I said, he does spot in a four-seamer every once in a while, which he can hit at about 95-ish. But I love this move, and I love this move because of what it does for this team. I think what you could have with Tommy Kahnle and with everybody else, with a guy like Tyler Holton, with Sean Gunther, with Brant Herter, with Jason Foley, if he can regain some of his form from last year, Bo Brisky, Will Vest, maybe Brendan Hanafy, Ty Madden, Alex Faedo. Just some of those might not be in there. Some of those be starters, but like a lot of
got
them,
DFA.
He got DFA'd. Okay,
Yeah.
my fault. But regardless of that, being that as it may, this is a big pool of players to have in your bullpen. And just think about even just having Tommy Kahnle and Tyler Holton, righty, lefty, kind of veteran, becoming a veteran but still kind of young. That's a pretty sick duo. And Jason Foley, say what you want about him. Say what you want about him in the playoffs. He was bad. As the season went on, he had some stretches of struggling. 28 for 32 in saves with a 3.15 ERA. It's not terrible. So what Tommy Kahnle does, I think, is potentially make this the best bullpen in baseball, and I think that's huge.
Hey, you know what, man? I love to hear that because it looked like the bullpen somewhat ran out of gas as the season went on, and we get it. This team was playing well above their head when they, especially matching up with Cleveland and pushing them to the limit with Tarek Skubal out there on the mound. And I do believe that having more relief arms helps keep potentially a guy like Tarek Skubal more fresh around that playoff time where you're probably going to run up his innings a lot more. Yeah. And everything you're telling me, man, like I'm excited about a move like this because we know how important that bullpen was at the start of the season. We know that some of those guys, they didn't maintain. Shelby Miller started off looking like he was going to be the next coming of whoever, man. And just to see how that bolstered that early success of the Detroit Tigers and got everybody thinking, you know what, maybe they can do something. That's where I'm excited to see a move like this done and able to start camp with a much more bolstered roster that, you know, when you talk about your pitchers, you're talking about them being led by a guy like Chris Fetter. So those young guys being able to take that next step forward in their development is you don't always want to feel comfortable just penciling in that they're going to develop. But with a guy like Chris Fetter, where we saw all the pitchers really have, you know, a myriad of success last year, is where this type of a move has me excited for their depth, for what it can mean for the bullpen, and for what it can mean overall for the starters as well.
Yeah, I mean, and he brings an element of veteran, just being a veteran, pitching in a lot of big games, which a lot of these guys also got that experience last year. I mean, Tommy Kahnle was excellent in the playoffs. He's been good in the playoffs his entire career, and in his career as a pitcher, 30 innings, 3 ERA. Last season, I think at 8 2/3 was a 2.08 ERA, was a big factor in why the Yankees made it to the World Series. And I like the idea of making your strength even stronger because even if the Tigers don't get that splash positional player like an Alex Bregman that we want, having a dominant bullpen could make it so that they could win some games 4-2. You could not blow Reese Olson starts like you did constantly, like you did a lot of times last year.
Right.
If Tarek Skubal gives you 7 and 1 earned, a bullpen that is going to be able to hold that is a big effing deal.
Sit down, because to know like every time you gotta have to probably go 8 or 9 or be perfect. That to me it has to wear on you, and to see that last game that he played against the Guardians is where I'm just like, man, you know what? If you could find a way to have him a little bit more healthy, a little bit more. When you think about those Tigers teams, even though JV could go the distance and such, they still had some pretty solid bullpen help. And when you talk about what he was able to do in the playoffs, man, that especially against the Oakland A's, that's where I'm hoping that this type of relief pitching is able to supercharge even more a guy like Tarek Skubal. And you brought up a name, Reese Olson.
Yeah,
that's a name there that is probably jumping up and down for joy for a deal like this.
And one other point on this, because I know KG, you want to speak on it as well. I don't think that Sean Gunther, Brennan Hanafy, Ty Madden, Brant Herter, Bo Brisky, that they're all going to work, that they're all just going to do exactly what they did last year. Some might not. Some of them might be flashes in the pan. That's why you need to go out and get a proven veteran relief pitcher to bolster that bullpen even more. And if there's one thing that you can say about Tommy Kahnle, just to be fair, because I don't want to just act like, just make this like a Tommy Kahnle slobber fest. There are some concerns. He did miss a lot of time. He did have a Tommy John. He did have, I believe, biceps tendonitis in 2023 and some shoulder inflammation last year. Missed parts of both seasons, but still was very productive and effective and still gave you 40-plus innings.
And Chuckle Cheeses, real quick, KG, he says, dang, Sam, all those pitchers you just named, I feel pretty safe now with our pen. And chat family, let me know how you feeling about the pen. Obviously, the starters, I love the starters, but let me know how you feeling with this move. Got to check the temperature here. What up, though, KG?
Yeah, and no, I'm not going to poo-poo this move at all because, I mean, we all know what the strength of this Tigers team is, and it's pitching, and in particular, it is the bullpen, even more than the starters, although you do have a Tarek Skubal. But, you know, the bullpen carried us through a lot of games last season, and I do agree with Sam to a point, making the strength stronger. I totally understand that, but I would like to see this team attack a weakness for once. And that's kind of where, you know, you already signed a veteran in Alex Cobb earlier in the year. And, Sam, look at all those names that you rattled off that played key parts in the Tigers' run at the end of the season and in the playoffs. I think they already, as is, had a very, very good bullpen and pitching rotation. I think you need to work on the consistent hitting and the infield defense of this Tigers team, and that's where they lack. So that's why I would much rather see a Alex Bregman move, or even just another move in your infield at this point, because Alex Bregman may not happen at this point, but I think you just need to do a little bit more, because Gleyber Torres, he's okay. He's a okay hitter. And he's somebody that you can use to where you don't have to have Javi as an everyday starter, but that's just not enough in terms of, you know, trying to get consistent at the plate and just your infield defense, which you have struggled with over these last couple seasons.
And you know what? I agree with a lot of what you're saying, KG, because when you talk about the Pistons and where they're at right now, they haven't actualized that playoff spot.
Yeah.
But the Tigers not only made the playoffs, but they were a problem as well, and they showed that they are worth needing this type of investment. Where do you go from here? You were one game away from the CS. Like, where do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to see this team enter next season with kind of where the Pistons can be this year. The Pistons can say, you know what, we're exceeding expectations. But for the Tigers, I do want to see them go out there and be able to punch their ticket with a guy like a Bregman, or similar to like what Randall Smalls is saying, $5 super chat. Sky Harris is being smart. We'll get a bat, maybe not Bregman, but I don't want Bregman being Miggy at the end of his contract. And I got to ask you too, Flannel, just up to this point, what's your overall grade or assessment on the Tigers offseason as is?
Up to this point, I'll go C+. Which is probably higher than...
And that's not good enough.
Which is probably higher than most. I know, KG, you're waiting for the F-, but...
No, I didn't think you was going to give him that. But at the same time, a C+, once again, I can't stress this enough. Last year, you had a miracle run, a once-in-a-lifetime run. You cannot duplicate what you did last year this year. That's my only gripe with it, but go ahead.
I will say this, though. I think some... You know what? Let's table this, because we're gonna come back, and when I talk about one of my alter egos coming back, that's a part of it, what I was about to say, but I want to make this one all-encompassing umbrella of a certain part of me that was dead for a while but is now back. He's back. Back. I'm back, bitch. Anywho, tell us about Dr. Pierce, someone who is decidedly not a female dog.
Hey, you know... He's decidedly not.
You're right. Decidedly not. He doesn't identify as.
It's a sports fan to decidedly not Dr. Jeff Pierce. Hey, listen, don't miss on Expert Sports Injury Insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. You guys got to trust the guy that D-Mac trusts. Why? Because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, Why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won? We got
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The big game requires a big party. Woodward Sports Live Watch Party is back once again at Hayes Social. Come watch the game with the crew on 3 17-foot screens. Book your table today before they are gone. Call 586-247-2223. You got great food, drink specials, and the best big game party around. Hayes Social at 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. Brought to you by 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and you can't forget about New Holland Brewing Company.
And we are back. It's Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. We appreciate you all for kicking off the morning with the WUW Crew. Going ahead and smash that like button to support. I'm telling you guys, that goes so far for us, man, and we appreciate it every time. We got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth in the TD booth. Cavassier Chase GPT, Spicy Chase in the building. Shout out to that dude Justin working hard, Matthew Broder. You guys know Kool-Aid and Flannel. Actually, right now it's Flannel Angelo. He's gonna paint a picture for you as GM Flannel right now.
And my alter ego, of course, being Mr. Flannel Bean or Moneyball Flannel, because I'll tell you what,
Jesse Winker is not coming here, okay?
There is more to it than Jesse Winker. Aldo, bring him home, please.
I was gonna say, is there at least some part of the wing shot?
The man has a 367 career on-base percentage, and according to Spotrac, he would cost you $2.4 million. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that. We will get to that later. But after this Tommy Kahnle signing, and after deliberating, and after really answering a question that you posed about the Tigers not getting any worse in any position, and this is something that you didn't pose, it was somebody commented it, and we talked about it. All of the anger that I have for not spending, it's damn near gone, because I'm here to tell you that I think the Tigers are going to win the division regardless. I think that they have enough. I think that the Tommy Kahnle signing in the bullpen gives them enough, either as your top-end guy or as insurance just in case somebody gets injured or somebody falls off. I think that's going to be enough to make them the best bullpen in Major League Baseball, and then you go from there. Because when you really look at the starting pitching that they can throw out there, JB, this is my potential starting pitching lineup, and I think it's actually pretty good.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Wow.
Look at that. Tarek Skubal as your ace. Jackson Jobe as the best pitching prospect in baseball. You got Reese Olson, who had a damn good year. Alex Cobb. And I say what you want about Alex Cobb, but from 2021 to 2023, I know last year he got hurt. He was basically a 3.80 ERA guy, gave you about 25 starts a year. If he did that for the Tigers this year, I guarantee they make the playoffs. And then Casey Mize at 5. But you also have the option of guys like Ty Madden, Brant Herter, Sawyer Gibson Long, Matt Manning. I'm not saying all of them are going to work. I'm not saying all of them are going to start. Matt Manning might just stink. But then again, I'm talking about him as your potential 9th guy. I'm talking about you got guys, and you got young guys who had experience last year. I thought Brant Herter was really good as a long reliever. Ty Madden had some spurts as well, though he wasn't quite as good. And then you had Sawyer Gibson Long, who showed some things before he went down with Tommy John. He should be back. But that's not all. If we want to talk about the lineup, people want to act like this is a lineup that is going to be last in the major leagues in runs. People are going to act like they're going to score 2 effing runs a game. JB, put it up there, because it is not as bad as you think, even if you don't get Bregman.
Talk to him.
Let's see it.
Are you telling me that this is the worst lineup we've ever seen?
No.
Are you telling me that this is a lineup that can't get you to the playoffs?
Not at all.
And yes, there are some concerns about some of these guys. Parker Meadows, we need to see him do it for a full year, but in the second half of last year, he was an all-star. Gleyber Torres, you can say what you want about how his first 2 years were his best, and he's been not mid, but just a good player since then. Gleyber Torres gives you an element in this lineup that you need. Somebody who kills lefties. 854 career OPS against lefties. You need a Gleyber Torres. You got Riley Green, who was an all-star. You got Kerry Carpenter, who was 994 OPS against right-handed hitters last year. Kerry Bonds. You got Colt Keith, who... You say the name Colt Keith, I think Broder and Spencer Raxter just nutted on command. My point is that there are a lot of people who slob knob over Colt Keith. They're a little higher on them than I am, although I think he had a damn great, damn good rookie year. But you should be happy with Colt Keith. Justin Henry Malloy, I get he's a bit of a question mark, but he showed some power, and he also was really good in the playoffs. Matt Vierling. Is he the most ideal starting third baseman? I guess not, but as your seventh hitter, as a guy who can give you about a 730 OPS, I like it. The bottom two is not great. I will give you that. Yeah. Although, Rando Smalls, when he hears the name Jake Rogers, talk about it's the fappening for him right now. So, all I heard about was Rake Rogers. That's all I heard about. Better than Riley Green. Rake Rogers.
Rando is a torque guy. So
you better be happy with him there. But
I was going to say, we're in the era of Tigers baseball where torque is not a question. When you really think about it.
What you mean by not a question?
No, you don't have to depend on him.
Yeah,
what's the question? Now it's look, bro, we're moving on. That's what I'm saying. He has things to figure out. He has questions.
He's not
to
an
answer,
everyday guy
but
anymore.
he's no longer the everyday person that we're sitting here saying, man, if Torque just figures this out.
Right.
Now, at this point in time, it feels like a little bit more gravy. And I got to admit, you're preaching over here, Flannel, but don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Spend the money. Spend the money, KG. Back me up on this.
Flannel, when I look at this lineup, yes, it's far from the worst lineup in MLB. I'll give you
it's
that.
better.
But you still have the threat of Javi Baez lurking.
I
He
know.
is going to be in this lineup.
I know.
And then when you look at just, yes, they may not be a team that's bottom of the league offensively, but we're struggling with power, man. The only power guy in that lineup is Kerry Carpenter, and we got to pray that he stays healthy. I'm just, am I wrong?
Riley Green at 827 OPS, dude. You act like he's Singlio or something.
No, this is no hate to Riley Green. I promise it's not. But is he a consistent person that's going to put the ball in the seats? No.
I think he will be.
You think he will be?
I think he will be.
Then you're expecting another big step out of him. He already was an all-star this last year. Got to give him credit. But you're expecting another big step up out of him. I don't know, man. It's just, it could be a little bit more, man. It's something missing from this line.
And I want to be clear.
Yeah, Randall Smalls is going to flourish.
Well, and I want to be clear about something. I'm not mad if they sign Alex Bregman. I'm not. I promise you.
How can you be?
This is just me surmising that this could look a lot better than I think a lot of people think. I mean, the way that some people are talking, and don't get me wrong, I've had my moments where I've been like, why aren't they doing more? Why aren't they getting Alex Bregman? The way some people are talking, you'd think that this was going to be a 50-win team next year. But QT, parentheses, M Wolverines brings up a point that I tried to hammer home to everybody who would listen last year, and I'm going to do it again. 8th and 9th hitters are expected to be bad. People act like the Los Angeles Dodgers had 350 hitters in the 8 and 9 hole. It's normal to have a catcher batting 9th like Jake Rogers. Trey Sweeney, I would like a little bit of an upgrade, but it's not the worst thing in the world having him bat 8th. Again, that's
Torres
where it's a little bad.
Too.
That's where it's a little bit rough, but I think 1 through 7 is a division-winning lineup right there.
I don't know, Sam. And then I get that. I know you don't care about defense either, but that is also a concern. Once again, the infield defense, they haven't shown enough to me to this point to prove that, they can be a solid defensive team, because it would be nice if we can stop the bleeding sometimes. And we expect this team to be competing for the Central. So if that's the case, we can't take no steps backwards. We can't have regression, which is why I would like to add to your young talent and take some of that pressure off of them. Protect some of your young players, because if they don't at least compete for the Central, then I think that's a step back. I do.
And I remember that last year when they kind of went on a little bit of their down stretch, it was largely because of the defense. We saw some errors start to creep up, and we were saying things like, we didn't have necessarily, when the bullpen started to regress, we didn't have the opportunity to give extra chances at the point in time.
Right.
And that's what we saw happen. And I do sometimes wonder what happens if they didn't even go through that little blip of a stretch where the errors did start to creep up a little bit, and the infield play had a lot to do with that. That's why I'm looking forward to, if they do spend some money. I like Scooble's plan. Obviously, they asked him about, it's his friend Flaherty. They asked him about Alex Bregman, and everybody's on that train. It makes sense. And you know what, man? I like what KG was saying as it relates to, he ain't gonna pocket watch, the city's money like Chris is right now.
Yeah.
Go out there and spend it, man. If they say spend it,
Acting like it's your shit.
Randall Smalls, $10 super chat for you, Flannel Sam. He said, Sam, did you bump your head? Oh yeah, you did. Glad you're with us. Truce.
Well, I get this feeling from a lot of the people here. Maybe you're going to do it too, KG. Are you just going to hate watch the Tigers from day one?
Absolutely not. I have this is why I'm so adamant about making an impact signing. I see where this team is, and I just don't think they're good enough yet to just roll this lineup out there and just be okay for 162 games. I don't. I think they will incur some tribulations along the way, and you need to have things in place to be able to supplement that. It's good that we're not relying on Torque anymore at first, just being your everyday guy. I do like some aspects of what they've done, but I just think they need to do a little bit more in terms of bats and at the plate, because that's where the Tigers are really hurting at. Our pitching and our bullpen will be fine. I'm not worried about that.
Rando says he would only, and this is in all caps, only spend money on Scooble. And that's why I'm just like, man, dog, if you can go out there, and if everybody knows, including Flannel, who's giving this current aspect of it his stamp of approval, that can go out there and make some noise in the AL Central right now. But even when we brought up what Scooble was talking about, your first initial reaction was like, whoa. Because it does. That's kind of like pushing all your chips in, because you understand what you have in your deck at that point in time. And that's why I'm like, I feel like you could really, really, really take control of this division if they do something more. I tend to agree a little bit more with KJ in his perspective.
Yeah.
But I do agree with where you're at too. I just feel like do a little bit more. Similar to my perspective with the Pistons. I feel like there's a way that they can kind of, do some nice things at the deadline, or you can actually go out there and help bolster what this team has already shown you. And with the Tigers, I believe it's even more important, because they didn't just make the playoffs. They didn't just back in. They were one of the best teams in all of baseball for the last 20-so games of the season, and went in hot. Took care of business in that first round. Did a lot of good in that second round, and almost came away with an improbable series victory against the Guardians.
And it also took a Minnesota Twins collapse. It wasn't like it was just the Tigers the whole time. Sam, I mean, you act like I'm lying. Like, I'm not lying.
But Sam's not wrong either, though. It's like,
let's just not go to the playoffs then. Let's just it was all erased because the Twins collapsed. You know what? Let's actually let's give them a flower basket. Let's give them a fruit basket. Maybe some candies. Maybe some Reese's peanut butter cups or something.
We was 10.5 games back.
But as is right now, because you do bring up a good point. If these teams ahead of them, or that were perceived to be ahead of them last year, don't implode. So as is right now, going into the season, just looking at the rosters, looking at what your expectations are, where do you think they are? Until they go out there and get a guy like a Bregman, where do you think these Tigers are for this Central? Because Flannel's put it on wax. You believe that they have enough right now for the AL Central.
I think they're going to win the Central regardless. But I would be happy if they I wouldn't be mad if they got Bregman. I'm not dying to make this a Moneyball thing. It's just that if they do, it's not going to look as bad as you think. It may not get you a World Series, and I understand that that's a little bit frustrating, and you feel like you're not taking advantage of the Scooble window. But I think they will be a heck of a lot better than they're given credit for. I think this is still a team that's going to win the Central.
We'll see. As last year, I see them as an 80-plus win team. But the problem is also, like last year, we all thought they would win the Central last year, and guess what? The Central is 10 times better than what the fuck we thought it was. You got the Indians; they are looking like they're going to be a problem for a while. You got the Royals on the way up. Like, the Tigers need to be able to keep up and compete. I'm not necessarily worried about the Twins, but the threat of the Cleveland Indians and the Kansas City Royals, that's real. And if the Tigers are just going to roll out what they did last year, that's fine. But if we go through any type of regression like we did at a certain point last year, then I don't see them just coming back from 10.5 games back and making the playoffs again. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's a good point. But Chuckle Cheese, he says 20 games. He says, you mean 40 games? It wasn't just the Twins collapse because the Tigers jumped a couple teams, including the Royals as well. So it's just this one is very, very hard to gauge because it's like how much momentum, how much you build off of the success that you did see that last 30 to 40 games of the season. Along with you can't sit here and act as if they didn't go out there and improve. And that's where my conundrum is. I agree with what Flandel's saying, but I still feel like they need a little bit more to really, really drive this thing home. Do I believe that they have enough to make that wild card? Definitely. And I don't really. I guess I push back just a little bit. Like, I feel like go out there and get a bat, whether it's spending the money or whether it's going out there and getting something else to augment. Get something a little bit more.
And should we be a little better than the wild card at this point, seeing that they did make a divisional series last year?
You would hope.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I do
you
agree.
have them at least making that wild card as constructed right now?
They should be able to, yes. But once again, I do agree that they've improved, but just how much have they improved is my real question.
Well, be thinking now, man. He's sitting there saying these guys can win the division.
And there are some moves that are out there to be made that aren't Alex Bregman that are very cost effective. And you might roll your eyes. Jesse Winker's out there.
No, I'm cool.
I'm not against it.
He actually signed last week with the Mets again. He's on a 1-year deal. So.
Jesse Winker?
Yeah, I saw that last week, and I immediately thought of Sam.
What was the amount? Do you know?
I think 1 year, $8 million to go back to the Mets.
Oh,
so.
Well, that's sad. You're right.
Damn it.
R.I.P. Winker. But
I wouldn't have
Winker down.
Now I'm starting to wonder if the other guy that I was suggesting maybe got signed.
Lamont Wade Jr.
But Steve Wilds is saying, come on, KG, trust in the process.
I promise I want to, man. I really do. But just I think they just need a little bit more, man.
I'm going to read off some of these from the chat, man. Chat family's preaching right now. Crazy Clown with AJ Hinch. You always have a chance for the postseason. Weezy D, though, he says he likes Minnesota's roster. You got some support as it relates to that.
Yeah.
You know, these other teams in the division, I don't want to take them lightly.
And why not take some of that pressure off of AJ Hinch to have to go out there and manage a perfect game every single fucking outing that he's out there? I mean,
can we just only suck his dick once a day instead of 4 times? Seriously, the stuff that I heard from Mr. Neil Rule, which got no pushback.
He was a Manager of the Year finalist, bro.
I understand, but Neil Rule literally stood up here and said, if they win, it's only going to be because of AJ Hinch. That's ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. AJ Hinch can tinker with some things, and he did that masterfully at points last year. But he doesn't make Tarek School be a Cy Young pitcher. He doesn't say to Riley Green, get out there, you're going to hit. He doesn't do that.
I agree.
You can only control so much as a manager. We act like this was the most talentless team in MLB history that got a 1 in 1 quintillion miracle to make the playoffs.
But we also have to acknowledge he won a lot of games for us because of his managerial decisions.
That's fair.
With Javi in the lineup.
That's fair.
Exactly. What the fuck he had to work with? One starting pitcher, a whole bullpen? Like, I mean, come on, man.
But he didn't make those guys pitch well. I get it. He set them up in matchups that were advantageous. I get that. That's fair. I gave him his flowers. I apologize. Saying AJ should have been fired was a bad take by me. But a manager is not the reason why you win all of your games. He's a part. He tinkers with things, but players got to play.
And that is the caveat there. When you said he's not the reason why you win all of your games, if you just say win your games, obviously we poke holes to that. But you're right in that, and I get it. I get it because I love Neil. I love Big D Energy, and I get it. But with AJ Hinch, I did see him be able to play and coach his team up through some pretty gross batting orders, man, and batting lineups last year. And we knew that if this team was going to have a chance, it was going to be because he was going to manufacture some runs in the ninth, how many overtime, extra inning games did they play? And we had the watch parties as well during the playoffs and things of that nature, and just saw how that was kind of the identity of this team, and that's where I believe AJ Hinch really, really helped us shine, and kind of like really overpower or not have us really focus on as much the weaknesses of the Detroit Tigers. Like, we still saw them, but we still expected this team to go out there and come away with at least like a 2-1 or a 4-2 or 4-3 victory. And I do believe a lot of that has to do with how AJ Hinch was managing that time.
I understand. And I think here, I'll give you the best example that I know how. AJ Hinch is not responsible for Kerry Carpenter hitting damn near 1,000 against right-handed pitching. What he is responsible for is only putting him in the lineup against right-handed pitchers. So AJ
Hinch made him hit the ball.
AJ Hinch deserves credit for putting players in advantageous matchups, but getting a guy that hits that well against righties, that's just one of those things that you take advantage of and you work with the best way that you know how. But AJ Hinch was not responsible for Kerry Carpenter literally being Barry Bonds against right-handed pitching. But to some, he is. He did everything.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Sam.
Okay.
Once again, I would like to take a little bit of pressure off of our manager that was a finalist for manager of the year.
He was great,
If we go DS somebody, at least we DS somebody good.
It takes pressure off the manager, off of Terry Schoolbull, and the pitchers have to be perfect.
Yes, that's all I want.
Because they were stepping out there, and even Broder was talking about it, like they knew each game they had to be perfect. Poor old Reese Olson, dog.
Yes.
Like when you brought it up, I was like, poor Reese Olson.
It's a damn shame.
Goodness
that man should have had 15 wins
And remember,
last year.
KG, you can suck his dick once a day. I gave you that. Just
my
not 4
God.
times.
First of
Just
all,
not
I'm
4
sucking
times.
nobody's
I
penis.
am
not
giving us one time.
I'm a grown ass man.
Metaphorically.
I suck no one's penis. But
Metaphorically.
if there was, I'm just saying. You act like we praising somebody that's a scrub. I mean, we got to give him his credit.
You used the government?
Yeah, right.
It's not even cock. It just had penis.
Right.
No, but
No
it's.
man's penis.
I'm
Come
not
on,
saying
Samuel.
he wasn't a bum. He was fantastic. But I think that this roster had more talent than people were giving credit for.
Damn it, Samuel.
Did you?
No man's penis.
Because I feel like we are like we trying to get to the same destination. We just take a different route.
Did you see what happened when a lot of the good players actually got healthy and were playing?
Yes,
That's not
yes.
AJ Hinch.
But how much of a jump have they really made? That's my only real question here. And even a lot of parts of last year, we agreed they should do something to protect their young hitters.
Okay, fair.
And they haven't done
Fair.
anything to really resolve that this offseason.
I think Gleyber Torres was a good move, but
it was a good move. But is it you just gave this fucking offseason a C+ with all the moves they made?
Yes, and I stand by it. And I could.
But is that good enough? They should at least be a B. At least.
They could make another move. They could make another move.
Which
They
is
feel like
why
they
I'm
have
trying
to.
to reserve.
I
They
do feel
could.
like they have
and
to.
And if you want another move, I'll give you one. I'll give you one that you can make that's more cost effective. And I don't even like the player. It would just be an upgrade at that position. Paul DeYoung.
Yes.
Paul DeYoung hit 24 home runs last year, but he's not really a high on-base guy, but he's an upgrade over Trey Sweeney. That's somebody who you could get at more of a cost-effective at a position of need, who has power. I mean, he had 24. Riley Green had 24 last year. So
But no, Javi got a new hip, so
And to be
we
fair,
dealing with that shit still.
But and to be fair though, Scott Harris did say that they are not done, and so it's like
Okay.
I do agree with that. To hold out the judgment, I do like the track that they're on because I believe you all are the arguments complement each other. It's like, okay, what they've done so far is a really good foundation. Not just a good foundation, it's built on. We can see that there are clearly some improvements over last year. But how much improvement does it go into if the teams ahead of us don't collapse and if the Tigers don't go on to be the best team over a 40-game stretch? I do believe we're going to see some great stretches from them. But this is going to be interesting to see how the rest of their offseason comes to play. And Randall Small says this. And I guess this is for both of you all. And I kind of know which way you'll lean because I don't know if this moves us forward necessarily based on your definition. If we sign Scooble, and this is via Randall Smalls, we win the offseason, right? Over everyone, even the Mets.
I mean, signing Scooble at this point is the least that you can do. So,
I don't think you win the offseason.
That's something that you should have been done. But since you haven't, what are you doing with the money? I mean, if you're not going to sign him now, you can at least put that money elsewhere.
Even he's saying, bro, go. Like, you guys got the arbitration done and all that.
That's
Even
the
though you
least
avoided
you can
arbitration,
do.
he's sitting there saying, guys, Go and sign people, spend the bread.
But this is why this is becoming such a problem because, like Sam said, if you're not going to re-sign them, we're in a window now. So if we only have a 2 to 3 year window of Tarek Skubal, you need to take advantage of that, seeing that they made a divisional last year. You might not be a World Series team, but you at least need to be in those waters or competing or trying to get toward a World Series. That's all I'm saying.
Randall Smalls with another $5 super chat. We have to be more like Tampa Bay and not like the Mets or the Dodgers.
I mean, we don't have to, but if that's the way that they're going to go, I mean, the Tigers do have, and I know nobody wants to hear about this now, it's 6 of the top 100 prospects, including 2 of the top 10. Jackson Jobe, you're going to see this year. I think he's going to factor prominentely in this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he absolutely better. But this went about the way that I thought. It was fun though. Hey, Chuck Brewer, Sam isn't paid by.
What better Tigers talk you getting?
Yes,
that's what I'm gonna ask her. Like, man,
this is good
I'm
discussion.
sitting here entertained,
This is
man,
good
and
discussion.
I'm learning. And it is what it is. What up, KG?
No, I just think this is a good discussion, and it should be like I totally understand. I'm not saying Flannel's wrong by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe these guys have gotten to a point to where they can sustain with this lineup. I have questions based on everything that I saw last year and the years prior. So and especially you're in this position now to where, you know, being a wild card team ain't necessarily good enough. Would I want them to be a wild card team? At the very least, yes. They need to be in the postseason.
You want the Tigers to go as hard as this Tigers discussion was.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
we should be more passionate than the fucking organization.
Yeah,
especially when you rolling out premium seating that nobody can fucking afford. Like, it's just like, but
and they rolled them boys out before they were winning too.
Yeah, but what incentive do I have to come to the ballpark and even think about spending that money? What incentive do I have?
No, and I got to respond to this from Shot. We were doing well, but today Sam turns into the glizzy gobbler whenever Mahomes is brought up, but he's mad at us for giving credit to Hinch, who we wanted fired. I'm not mad at giving credit to Hinch. My issue is that I think a lot of you have a very distorted view of what a manager is and what a manager does. And that's what always has bothered me, is that obviously Hinch was phenomenal last year, the way he handled the bullpen days, the way he was able to put guys in great matchups, including I believe it was game 3 of the ALDS where he really depantsed Stephen Vogt, although Stephen Vogt kind of made up for it later. That's all fair. That's all fair. You got guys like Kerry Carpenter, for example, who you should only hit against righties, and a guy like Andy Ibanez, who you should only hit against lefties. And AJ Hinch is a good chess master at that. But he doesn't make these guys good players. These guys are more talented than you think, and you saw what happened when you had a lot of your dogs back, when you saw Parker Meadows really take off, when you saw Riley Green get healthy again, when you saw Kerry Carpenter get back from injury. The team really just skyrocketed, and AJ Hinch certainly does not make Tarek Skubal the best pitcher in baseball.
No.
Maybe the guy that he hired, Chris Fetter, has some role in mechanical stuff, and AJ Hinch should get some credit for that, but that's my point. Managers affect the game in a way that I think is less than a lot of people in the chat think.
I just don't think we're overly glazing AJ Hinch. I don't. But I get what you're saying. I do. And for anybody that's still rooting for Torque, don't hold your breath.
Right.
I see a lot of Torque support in the chat. He already lost his job, bro.
Colt keeps taking your job.
Yeah,
bro.
come on.
Look, we still support the players that are here on the roster, and hopefully that he can be some type of contributor. But I would rather the Tigers, if the question is always a question, then just answer it yourselves, and that's what I feel like they've done. Now you give yourself a position. They're in a position right now where they haven't cut bait with Torque. He gets the opportunity to improve something. If the talent's there, he's going to have the opportunity. So it's just like, go out there, take advantage of this without having the pressure to be perfect. Remember when he entered the playoffs? We needed Torque to be the Torque that we thought he was going to be. Now it's no longer that. He's almost entering a situation similar to like Ron Holland, who he can just, as with the Pistons, think about Asar Thompson. We were like, bro, you got to save us.
Yeah.
With Ron Holland, we're like, man, he can literally come off the bench and just take his time.
Yeah.
And I feel like Torque, for really the first time in his career, is in that position.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just take your time, get your head right. But the Tigers, and where I lean more with you, answer those questions, because maybe this is a conversation for another day, Flannel, based on what Chuck Brewer's saying, that we set what the expectation should be, because this team showed us a lot more than even any of us predicted. We thought they could get to the playoffs. We all said that. We thought they would be in the mix for the division. We did say that. But this team went a little bit more. And Chuck Brewer says, Sam, I want World Series. not sneaking into the playoffs.
No,
You got to spend money to get that.
We have to put that on the docket, bro.
I understand that. I understand that, and I get that this team, probably as currently constructed, may not be a World Series favorite.
Not even close.
I don't think that
not
they're
even close.
I don't think that there's
Not
no
there
way
yet.
that they could make it or win it. I'll just say that.
They're-
Maybe people would clown on me for that. And Chuck Brewer also said, Sam, would this team have made the playoffs last year with Brad Ausmus or Trammell in the dugout? No. If you want me to say that, no, they would not have. They would not have. If that's what you want me to say so that you don't think I'm like a Chris Bott or I want Brad Ausmus back, then I'll say it. No, they would not have. And Hinch
You want
deserves
Brad
credit for
Ausmus
that.
back? I heard it here
Damn,
first.
Yeah, I want Brad
you hate
Ausmus
AJ
back.
that much? You want Brad back?
I'm a big Ron Gardenhire fan. Big time. Big time.
He was better than Ausmus the
He,
Garden.
he certainly
He
was.
was a big upgrade over
He
Ausmus.
certainly was.
And this might be a
Jesus.
comment for a different time or a topic for a different time that we'll have to bring back up. But $4.99 super chat from Dante151.
that.
Is it me or does it seem rather odd that no one has signed Alex Bregman yet? Does Bregman have an injury that we just don't know about, that teams know? Well, I mean,
No,
it's-
he was
it's
asking for too
questionable.
much money is what I assume it is.
I
He
think
thought a
he's
lot
waiting,
more teams
yeah.
was going to come knocking at the price that he wanted, and he found out that wasn't the case. So,
Can I say an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people aren't going to like?
go
Say
ahead.
it.
Boy.
Alex Bregman had a career low in OPS last year. Just saying. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him.
Still better than Jace Young at this point.
Oh,
Hey, look.
Hey, yeah.
Next week,
That's
we gotta
cool.
put this back. Tigers expectations. We got to
That's
Flannel, we have to
cool,
put
man.
this on the docket. I didn't even know that the talk for Tigers right now could get that spicy.
Yeah,
And
it
so
is.
I think we're doing a service to our sports teams.
Bro, we 60
to the
days
fans.
away from the season.
Yeah,
Like, this shit is upon us
it's
now.
real. We ain't just sitting down just hey let's twiddle our fingers over Tigers. I'm glad that this is like what we actually feel. You put in a lot of work as it relates to the vision and things of that nature and outlook for this squad, and that's where I want to be able to take this to the next level. Definitely talk about what these expectations should be.
I told you guys. I got just a jolt of that flannel bean energy. It's something that I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know if I was inspired by the movie, but do I fetishize Moneyball? Absolutely.
But can you win with it? It's proven that you can.
You can win, to an
You
extent.
can win to a cap. And I see the Tigers cap as ALCS, and that's it.
I will say this though:
You
the
got to
Boston,
spend money to get in the World Series.
at the time it was made, David Ortiz was a Moneyball signing.
Yeah, true.
The Boston Red Sox
but
used
look
a lot
at
of those
what
principles.
he grew into, though. Like
I
I
understand.
get you, though.
I understand.
JB, let's ask the people too as we prepare. Maybe we get this segment going next week. But I want to know what the people feel as well about their expectations for the Tigers. Because I see Steve O'Baby in the chat. He said, Kool-Aid, I'm going to say it loud and I'm going to say it proud. The Tigers are going to win the division. Yeah, I said it. Do something about it.
Yeah.
What? Why are you calling me out for it?
Right?
But no, like
If
I
you
want to
feel
see
that
what
way, it's
people
cool.
are as it relates to their expectations for these Detroit Tigers as currently constructed. Whether they do anything else from here or not, I just want to know what the people are feeling. Shout out to Easy from the Heavies in the chat as
Big
well. I
shout
see you,
out.
brother.
Henrietta.
Hey,
Yep, easy. I don't like what you put last, but still love you. Guys.
I'm not reading it.
I won't
He,
either.
he flicked the flannel bean.
well, you know what?
He is flicking his money ball bean over there.
With an E at the end, which distinguishes it from the.
Other Billy
From
Bean.
the what? From the what, Flannel Sam?
The Billy Bean who's from the other side of the
Flannel.
Golden Gate Bridge. I will say
That's
flannel.
facts. That's
I will
facts.
say flannel there. I'm coming here.
That's actually facts.
Take the picture for us, Flannel Angelo.
The slang for what ladies do to themselves. But anywho,
Come on. I pulled the chute. Don't cut the cord. I pulled the chute. Don't cut the
have
cord.
y'all
women
got
that
some
watch
laughs.
this
I
program,
saw
Flannel.
Flannel make the decision, like, you know what? I'm taking this one for the team.
Fuck it.
Shout out to Flannel, dog.
I used
Shout
a
out to the
few
WUW
too
Crew,
many.
dog.
Well, I used too many references on the other side, so I gotta.
Real
Today.
Lily Phillips in it right
You're
now.
right.
Just don't throw it all in.
My boy, dry mouth flannel, boy.
What Prince, you gotta say what up though too.
We're behind. So let's just say
Yeah,
what up
we
to
bad
a lot
behind.
of people. Let's do Jars, Les Stanford, and Planet Fit.
Let's do it. Go ahead, JB.
Oh, good lord. Oh, man. Well, you might need some jars
that's
after this whole conversation. Sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. It's home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products with 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit. So there's always one close nearby you. And don't forget, if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, Milan, Michigan, stores are also popping up your way very, very soon. Jars Cannabis, I know you want to get high, but first, go to Les Stanford before you go to Jars Cannabis.
Absolutely. New year, new you. How about a new car? Les Stanford Buick GMC is here for you. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUT for 24 months with 10,000 miles a year. Man, you're going to get me laughing again. For only $699 per month, just a $1,999 down payment.
All you got to do is flick that money bean.
Or make it a 2001 for my sake. Or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, 24 months with 10,000 miles a year for only $359 per month. Sign and drive, no down payment required. GM discount required for both.
Scotch guard that car.
Get to Les Stanford today or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, LesStanford.com. Planet Fitness.
Don't flick the bean at Planet Fitness.
No.
Not even in the bathroom.
Oh.
There's people in
You
there.
set off the lunk alert.
There's
Right.
yeah, unfortunately.
Not even in the shower. We can see you.
Unfortunately, there's probably been people over the years.
Oh, you
Don't do
absolutely.
Make
This
it
is
at
a
your
sick
own
world
home
we
if you're
live in.
going to do it. But they've got 50-plus Metro Detroit locations. They do have showers if you need to just shower after your workout, and only that. Just shower and only that. But they've got the cheapest memberships, $15 a month, where you can work out at your home gym and, get all of the workouts in that you need. Or you can go upgrade to the Black Card for $24.99 per month, and you can upgrade to get the amenities such as going to any Planet Fitness across the world. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
That Tangerine Space Machine, the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy, refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon and grab yourself a case of this intergalactic haze of goodness. This is the official beer of outer space, but you don't have to go that far to get it. It's at your local store right now, so head over, grab yourself a case today. Brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you know you always can support locally. And I don't know if this pairs well together, but you can try it.
It does.
Soroki's
Confirmed.
Crispy chicken and pizza, confirmed by the Bar King over there as well too. Continuing on this football season, they are debuting their fresh signature wings, 7 different flavors as you can see up on screen. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add on some fresh wings to that order as well. Try one of the 7 different flavors, and don't worry if you can't go in store, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. I see you in the chat, Dad, with Tourette's. He says, what up, though, boys, man? It's dope to see a lot of the regulars in here. And if you haven't gotten an opportunity to, go on ahead and smash that like button for the WUW Crew. Goes a long way to support us. And so far, this poll that's up right now as it relates to the Tigers' expectations, 52% of the chat family believe the Tigers will be division winners.
There we go.
39% believe that they'll sneak into the wild card percent. And this is crazy. 9% believe that they're going to miss the playoffs.
Hey,
That's a little bit higher than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it's fair, it's fair. Hey, make sure you guys get that vote in and tap in, man. I think it's time to spark up Word to Jars.
Word to jars. Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
It's Jay Bizza.
Hey,
Good
let's
combo.
Yo, what's going on, chat family? What's going on, guys? I gotta show you this, a little bit of news. This happened last week, but I thought it was funny, so I wanted to bring it back to get your guys' opinion on it. Because earlier today, before the show, I know we all were discussing some old school movies with Chase. Operation Dumbo Drop. Is that right,
What?
Chase?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah,
hell is
and it's an old Disney movie.
It's
King.
the
You know
third greatest Vietnam War movie of all time, behind
The
Apocalypse
third
Now
greatest
and
Vietnam.
Platoon, bro.
Stop
It
it.
has Ray Liotta, Dennis Leary, and Danny Glover,
Oh, I like
along
the
with
cast.
Bo Tap playing the lead role of the elephant.
I like the cast. I'm just not a Dumbo fan.
Stop it. But anyway, I thought this was funny because, I'm pretty sure you probably rented it back in the day at your local Blockbuster, which now they filed a trademark to come back in business as a nightclub, bar, restaurant, and amusement park.
Oh, shit. All of that?
Yes.
Oh, they step it up.
So would you guys like to go to the Blockbuster amusement park?
Hey, they told Netflix we taking our power back.
I would do
this. No.
Yeah, I'd definitely do this. Why not? I would definitely do this, man.
A nightclub, bar, restaurant, and amusement park? No.
man.
That's a lot. Like, all in one place? That's a lot.
Go there with Quinn Kool-Aid. Like, please be kind. Please rewind.
Get right.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
Man.
Blockbuster.
That
Those
sounded
were
a little dirty, but
Those were the days, man.
yeah.
Going to Blockbuster on like the blue carpet.
Family Video was better, and we all know why.
Oh,
You said who? You said who? Wait. Say that again. $24.99. $24.99. Say that
I stand on business. Family Video was better, and we all know why.
because this is a family store.
Oh, of course. A certain section of it was a family store.
Right.
Have you ever got lost in there before, KG?
You
Like
said,
by
oh,
accident,
hell
just
yeah.
stumbled in and like, whoa.
In the non-family section?
what am I
Absolutely.
doing here right now?
it's like, whoa, I tripped. Whoa.
The funniest part is when you go to that area and you get some movies and you got to go to the counter and actually pay for the movies. It's the funniest process in the world. You try to straight face, like look straight face the whole time. Like,
I wish I had a hat because you do the whole like,
right.
Sliding these movies up here.
You could do the old South Park where you just put it in a different, like
Yeah,
Backdoor
right.
Sluts 9 is in the Two Towers case of Lord of the Rings.
Oh man. My question about this though is like there was a lot of Blockbuster locations though. So like if they doing it like that, then how the fuck you gonna build all this in like all those areas? Like I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure like the amusement park is going to be like in certain states. Like not all places are going to get
Okay.
an amusement park or anything, but majority of them will probably come back as a nightclub and bar restaurant type
Yeah.
of deal. But I just had to bring that up. 'cause I
Shout out
thought it was
Blockbuster,
funny,
man.
though.
Take your
Shout out
power back,
Blockbuster.
man. Y'all started this shit. Fuck that.
That's what you want Detroit to do as it relates to spending that money, that cash space for the Tigers.
It's not
Take
hard,
their power,
bro.
man.
We pay for too many pizzas in this fucking town for you to not spend money. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to the Tigers, though. I love y'all dearly, but
I mean, you're
That
not.
might just have to be his own little short, dog. We got to post that.
that's fine. He acted like it's his money or something, dog. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
It's the city money, man. Come on.
You're not wrong with that. You're not wrong at all. I got to show you this because I feel like if we added this into the back area of our studios over here, we probably wouldn't be getting any work done.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. He at Amazon doing this shit, too?
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
remember across the street at Jack's, they used to have the basketball out there.
You getting
You
fired,
remember that?
boy.
The car wash?
Oh, yeah. Well, what if we added this in the back room? Would anybody be doing any work now?
Probably not.
Bro, have you guys been in the back office? We have we
North
changed
one.
the word of horse. We play Woodward in the long form, and then WSN short form. We have the house rules. We have all-time wins and losses. Ryan Lentz 5-0. He's undefeated.
On the Nerf
that man
backboard.
is wet back there on the Nerf hoop.
Pause.
Hey, yo.
That man is wet, huh? Okay.
Yeah, he's a wet fruit. If you checked out Spenny's top, if you looked out Spenny's top 5 list from yesterday, you know.
It's called a straight
Can we-
That is
yesterday.
out of bounds.
Can we stop the whole terminology too of like wet to describe like a good jumper? I get it because it's splash, but it's just so grimy
I can't,
sounding.
bro. It's
That's ingrained in culture.
It's ingrained.
man.
So,
You ain't getting rid of that one, Sam. I'm sorry.
It's ingrained.
It's
Sorry.
sloppy
It's-
Oppenheimer.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get rid of that slang
But
and let's get rid of
sloppy
That's
Oppenheimer.
sports, though. It's like you can't get through a broadcast without it, man. Did y'all see Kelly Stafford
No.
talking
what?
about why women like to watch football? And it was her and her
God,
homegirl just listening to broadcasters say very plausible things.
Oh yeah. My
Jesus.
wife does the same stuff.
Jesus.
She can't hear that. She can't hear tight end without laughing.
I didn't even know.
The Skip Bayless cuts are immaculate.
Oh yeah.
Like we talked about Deontay Wilder.
Oh, my God.
Gosh, yes, we need this. We need this.
I definitely think we need this in the back. Next up,
I can help him
guys-
with his form, though, man.
Yeah,
Shots a
he
little.
needs some help with his form. But next up, guys, I don't think you want to have any of your friends help you move, especially not these two.
Yo. Wow.
Dog.
You
Get
killed
out,
your
Fred.
friend.
Bro, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got
Bam,
it.
right
Yeah,
there.
he got knocked out on
Oh.
impact. Wait a
Bow
second.
right in the kisser.
Oh, okay. He had on a hat.
Bow right in the
I
kisser.
was like, did he have on? Did he lose like a toupee or something?
Yeah, it do look like a toupee, don't it, from this distance?
Oh my god. Yeah, he got knocked out on impact of the chair.
Oh, he's stiff too, bro. Like he is actually hurt. Like you might have broke his neck.
Oh
you
my
might
God.
have broke dog neck.
You didn't even like just get hit by it. Then you flip.
Oh no, listen. You know you're up there and your friend is smaller. My man in the blue, all he does is move his arm over like
It's like, I got it.
Hold
No.
on, then look how tiny this fucking truck
Yeah,
is.
no, he's got like the lowrider. He's got the
Yeah,
Mexican
like-
truck,
Oh,
but he
you're
couldn't
right.
get the
He tried to move a couch on the El Camino. Like, what are you doing? My boy got an El Camino out
He's
there.
got the Mexican truck, but the Mexicans would have got that in no problem.
Yeah,
like
that's
I know
what I'm
for a
saying.
fact, right? We've done this before.
I'm about to say, how you know? How you know, Chase?
This is how the family gets shit
There
done,
you
bro.
go.
He talking about the Mexican truck. I
just
said
wanted to
El
tell the
Camino,
people
but
that.
he talking about the Mexican truck. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I
Shane.
But
might-
as I said, he tell the people, look,
Yeah.
it's his hair, it's his people.
I'm light on paper. Like,
I'm white on paper.
Bro.
This is one of the most epic what's trendings, dog. This what's trending is epic, man.
Holy shit.
Well, I gotta stop it here because it's not over. Because the final video I got for you guys, I think we need to have a wellness check on one Mr. Jimmy Butler because yesterday this came out. My man needs some help, you guys. Apparently his car got declined, and he's quoted by saying, "You're currently unemployed, so your car doesn't work."
Oh,
Damn.
goodness. How much is he getting fined?
Damn, the heat
Isn't
crack
that
it
to like
down.
$7 million?
I don't know.
The heat cracking down hard. My man ain't got no checks. Damn.
His agent said them checks not hitting no more. We gotta do your
Pat
card's
Riley
not
playing
gonna work no
hardball.
more.
Like, oh, you don't want to show? All right, bet. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, I think
Jeez.
someone needs to go and check on Jimmy Butler, man. I don't know what's happening.
That's fucked up, man. I hope you got a good savings account. Pat Riley not playing with you.
Can you imagine that? My man just saying, I'm just not working.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Can you imagine? Like, man, shout out to Jimmy Butler, man. He's afforded himself those opportunities, I
That's
guess.
a fact, yeah.
I
He's a
guess
star
so.
in this league. You can do that.
I want pocket watch.
I guess so, but
No, trust me, he'll
that's it
be
for
okay.
What's trending, you guys? Let's hop into some mailbag. We got some time.
He'll be okay. I promise.
Hey, great job as always with what's trending. Do we need to hear from our friends at Feldman first, JB Smooth?
Mark White and Feldman.
Hey,
I
let's
got
rock.
you for that one. Mark White, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. And since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, what up, though? It's time for the mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. Hey, so get those mailbag questions into the chat. I know that we're going to talk some Jahmyr Gibbs tomorrow. I can't wait for that. I know the people in the chat are ready for that as well. But as it relates to these Tigers, while people are getting those Feldman questions, if we can just continue that on, the expectations, man. I'm looking here at the poll. It's shifting. 48% expect division winners, 40% expect wild card sneak in, and now from 9 to 12%, 12% of people believe out of the playoffs. I'm wondering, like, what's encouraging that type of belief from people, man?
I expect them to compete for the division, but it's hard to say outright that they'll be division winners because the Central is not as bad as we thought it was. I keep trying to tell y'all, the Cleveland Indians, they are here to stay. The Royals are on their way up right now. Have you heard of Bobby Witt Jr.? I mean, just come on now. But the Tigers, they right up in the mix, but I just don't know how good they are to be an outright division winner.
You know what else I'm counting on, though? And this is just something I'm counting on. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think history will show that there's a good chance. I'm looking for a big Seth Lugo regression. Okay. I'm looking for last year to be a blip. He's in his 30s. He's never really been a great pitcher. Had a Cy Young caliber season last year. I don't think that continues. But then you also have a guy like Cole Reagans, who I also think is on the up and up. So the Royals they'll be there. I just think the Tigers will be a little better.
Okay.
Hey, you know what, man?
I hope so.
Yeah, I generally, knowing the way that you look at things, that's a big endorsement for you to say that you believe the Tigers are going to be there. You scrutinize and you make sure that you pour through the numbers mixed with the eye test of just the games that you absorb, and it's just like, you know what? I'm hoping it's there. I'm not as confident, but I do believe this team is much more formidable than they were last year.
Yeah. Bye, Tabitha.
Hey, bye, Tabitha.
See you later, Tabitha.
Thank you, chat family, man. You guys are epic. If you haven't got an opportunity to smash that like button for the WUW Crew, goes a long way. Tommy K, another Tigers one. Feldman Mailbag. Would you want Casey Mize to come out of the bullpen or Cobb?
It would if it were one of the two, it'd probably be Casey Mize, but he's one that I don't know about. That's why I had him as the 5th starter on my starting rotation with an option of maybe somebody jumping him. We'll see.
Yeah, last year was kind of a prove-it year for Mize. This year is absolutely, you got to show us something.
100%.
I don't want to give up on a guy with stuff like that, but yeah, it just hasn't worked out to this point.
I like this question by Randall Smalls. Hashtag Feldman Mailbag. Someone you would hate to see traded, but could be by the Detroit Lions. For him, it's Khalif Raymond. So, and we can kind of add that in, not just traded, but somebody who might not be back that you would prefer to see back as well.
I mean, I hate to do this, but Levi Ownzurikie, I think he could be really beneficial to this team, especially as Ali McNeil recovers from his ACL, but I think he priced himself out.
Writing on the wall.
Yeah.
What up, though, brother?
It has to be a trade or just...
Yeah, I'm saying just a player. We'll open it up to just a player that you would like to see back, but you think, you know what, he might be a cap casualty.
I would really like to see Carlton Davis. That's the move I'm most intrigued by the Lions, because I think it's a good chance that we don't retain him.
That's a segment on its own.
Yeah, I'm telling you, But you got Rakestraw in the wings. We don't know what to expect from him just yet, but they drafted him in the 2nd round for a reason. So I would love to keep Carlton Davis, but I think it just depends on the number.
I think it has to be Carlton Davis.
I think it's Carlton Davis as well too, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the draft they're probably looking for another corner as well. So that's just me.
I know the people. Look, I'm all for the corners to the draft, and who knows, man? Maybe I have to be a little bit more patient because we saw some rookie corners really take center stage this year. You know, with Quinyon Mitchell and others, and that's where I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it works out for them. You know, I like what TA put out there on tape. I know that for a lot of people, they would like to see a little bit more out of him his first year.
He's going to get better, man.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. This secondary wasn't healthy. That they did have their safeties, but IT Hips Mailbag. How many points do the Red Wings need on this road trip for you guys to deem it a success?
4. 4 in 4 games. I know ideally you'd like more, but it's a really, really tough one.
4 games?
Yeah.
You looking at with a couple wins, or you looking at some overtime?
Probably a couple wins, or any way you can get them. I'm not picky.
I was gonna say 3, but I like 4. I mean, I want 4, so like, you know, but it's 4 games, you know, so I'm expecting us to at least drop 1. If we can push 1 to overtime, you know, and then steal 1, you know, and then what we can do in that last game, you know, be big. But I'm hoping for at least 3. You can't get less than 3, so I'm gonna stick with 3.
I agree with that. If you get less than 3, you're probably looking at a big hole to climb out of.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane Daniel, he says, was Kool-Aid a nickname before or after you were the pride of Summit Academy? Shout out to Summit Academy, man.
Yeah, big shout out.
And he said also, where did the nickname come about? I'm thinking I'm going to sit down with Chase on his Chase Lounge, man. We're going to talk about that. We'll definitely do that, man. We'll plug the content.
The origin of Kool-Aid.
Hey, yeah. And you know what? It also involves one Kelly B. Hall, now Kelly B. Stafford.
Really?
We're going to talk about
I know the story, which is so you guys are in for a treat.
I'm interested in that story.
Hey, yeah, we're going to save
I'm
that
interested
for
in that
for
tape
the
too
Chase
that we
Lounge.
ain't got.
Still ain't
So.
seen.
I might save that for the Chase Lounge.
Yeah, okay.
We're going
Save
I
it
actually
for the
might.
Chase Lounge.
I want to see this guy like super successful. The ideas.
You ain't
the
got a lot of
spunk,
me,
the
big dog.
dedication.
We cool, bro. You ain't got a lot of me, big dog. And Phil, bro,
Kool-Aid's an
like
imposter.
Phil, you was obsessed with my damn hair, man. You thought I was wearing a wig or some shit? Like, yes, I have hair on the top of my head. A lot of it.
Old Philip is
Phil, man, I love Phil low key. He's special.
his value to the chat though is diminishing by the day.
Steve-O, baby, though. Hashtag.
Shout out.
Feldman Mailbag. Can we have a Woodward Sports 3-on-3 basketball pickup game? Listen, a part of this bonus content after we get the first wave of shows up is Woodward games. Both e-games, basketball, football, all of that type of stuff, man. Like we have the passion for it, and we have to make sure step by step that we're make sure we're crossing off all of those boxes first. But it is in the works. It is on the way. And we have some pretty big plugs that said that if we and when we do this, they're going to lend their support to. Shout out Ashton, the trainer, Cannon
Big
Cunningham,
shout out.
Rank Management, and other people, man. Caleb Hunter,
Yep.
son of Lindsey Hunter. Man, yeah, it's going to be dope when we do this, man. I can't wait for that. But let's see, man. One more Feldman Mailbag, maybe. Jordan from MI. Hashtag Feldman Mailbag. When's Beef Stew going to stop getting ejected? People are starting to call him dirty. Loved him holding up the jersey to the fans, though.
I'm
kinda
sorry.
liked
I
it
like
last
the
night.
attitude. They need that. This Pistons team, they need that kind of edge on the floor night in and night out. And yes, I would like him to stop fouling out so much or, getting ejected, but I don't think it's like a problem just yet.
Y'all heard me criticize a lot right now. This morning when we talked about him. The one thing I didn't criticize was Isaiah Stewart's actions.
Yeah.
Listen, you want to find a way to stay on the court, and you already know what your reputation is. It's same old with Sheed, but we all knew this. Chauncey was like, sometimes it's just what sets a player off.
Right.
He's like, I would go to the ref and be egging him on, like, call the tech on him, because Stu right now is the only player of his kind that is on this team right now.
That's
and
a
I
fact.
can't wait till we get more like it, because then that's the point. He's the one that has to step up and defend and have everybody's back. Ben Wallace was walking around out there with Sheed, and Corliss was coming off of the bench. Mehmet Okur was not a slouch. Think about the size that team had. And I know they're building to that, but what about you, Flannel Sam?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely. Isaiah Stewart came out with his hair on fire, which is fine. He was did some. There was that one clip where he just was like yelling with this crazed look, and his eyes are kind of screaming. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not mad at Isaiah Stewart. The only thing that is unfortunate is that you could have used him on the court, but you're already down by 14.
Yeah, like Chuck Brewer said in the chat, he just can't get tossed. He has to stay on the
he
floor.
has to stay on the floor.
Yeah, for the player that he is, like you said, he's the only one really bringing that
You
attitude
don't think
and
they
edge.
know that?
They need that.
Every single night, these other teams are stepping in knowing, get that mother effer out of the game.
Get in his head.
It's Stu.
Yeah.
Do you see his numbers this year at the rim?
Yeah.
They're great. They're they're amazing.
He's having a
game.
career year, so far.
And they got him out at like halftime. Like, man, it's just like, golly, man. In a game like that, where you already know it's going to be physical, shame on the refs, man.
And thank you, Weezy. Thomas Bryant flopped. I'm standing on that, bro.
Of course he
that
did.
shit,
Come on
he
now.
sold that shit. It wasn't that bad.
I still would have brought him here.
But I was listening to because I was streaming the game, I was listening to the Pacer broadcast, and oh my God, you should have heard that. Now, there's no place for that in this game. Like, what are you talking about, bro? That shit was so fucking
They still
weak.
reeling from the Malice at the
That
Palace.
shit was so weak.
They crying. They did whole documentaries just saying they took our championship away from us. That's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Art Vanderlei, he says Stu is not kicking dudes in the junk yet like Draymond, so he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't always
It
a
was
huge
an
fan of
accident.
Draymond, so
Oh, makes sense.
Enjoy your rightful suspension you got in the finals, bud.
He took Jordan Poole's powers away. So.
Yeah, Chuck Brewer
He
loves
was
the
never
fact
the
that
same
The
after
fact
that
that you
punch.
guys defend that's insane.
It wasn't.
Did Jordan
Considering who Jordan Poole is, yeah.
Okay, Jordan Poole was very good for them at one time.
Yeah, I'm talking about the personality of
Yeah,
Jordan Poole. though.
sometimes you just need to smack a motherfucker.
Yeah,
Dude, Draymond Green gets coddled
Amen,
so
amen,
freaking
You can't
much,
do that
dude.
to your
He
teammate
gets
like
coddled.
that. And in the way he
No, for
responded
sure.
after was just cheap to me.
For
You're
sure.
a leader.
For
Take
sure.
your responsibility. If you're going to do it, if it's one of those situations where it just has to happen, you also got to be man enough then to take that responsibility fully on you. He was younger. He was so much younger.
He shouldn't
You
have
can't
did that.
do that, man.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have did that. But I can also understand why he did that.
Yeah, if the team
Two
can
things can be
just
true.
trade you, just let it work itself out. It's the NBA. You going in now and punching on your own team.
Right.
It's just,
And now look,
I don't
they
know.
traded Clay before him, which is still crazy to me. But
I think Cat Williams said it best. You shouldn't been talking shit.
Oh my goodness.
it's the NBA.
No, Jordan
Nobody
Poole
gets
is-
more of like wet kisses than freaking Draymond Green. And
No.
Draymond Green acts like he gets like oppressed by everybody.
But
He
in
gets
that
away with
particular
everything.
instance, I'm just saying, knowing the kind of person Jordan Poole is now, in retrospect, he kind of maybe might have deserved it at the time.
All right.
Maybe. That's
We'll
all
agree
I'm
to
saying. He
disagree.
might
Go
have
Blue
deserved
Steel.
it.
That's a yes.
That half court shot, man. Hey, go blue, Jordan Poole.
You can't be calling your teammate triple single and shit. Like, come on, man. Like, you thought.
But you know he talking too. Think about it. What was happening? What was happening? They said
y'all
that
know
Jordan Poole-
Draymond sensitive, man.
They
Y'all
said he was
can't be-
busting. He was telling practice. You hit. No, let's be for real. The word was that he was busting Draymond Green's tail in practice, and there was nothing he could do with him.
Yeah.
And Jordan Poole was on a heater in the actual NBA.
But it was a history between. It wasn't just that particular practice.
Michigan State,
they
University
had
of
been
Michigan.
going back and forth.
I'm balling.
Like,
I'm in line to get the contract. You're on the way out the league. That's all I'm saying. Like, bro, I don't know, man. If it's
MJ
that
punched
much and
multiple
to get you to
teammates.
punch your team, it's just like, come on, bro.
I mean, Dad with Tourette said it best. MJ punched multiple teammates, and he still praised.
And so is Draymond.
That is true. That is
Take Jordan Poole off that 2022 team. You don't win the championship.
that's a fact. But what has he done since?
Not
that man's
shit.
powers is gone.
That's fair. Not shit.
Weezy D said the Warriors trading Poole after Draymond did that. It's hilarious. I mean, listen, for the optics, you got to call it what it is.
I
And you
hear
know
you.
what? I'll take Draymond on these Pistons too right now.
Absolutely.
That's
Bring him home.
And he is a Hall of Famer.
Since we doing the underside shit, why not? Bring Draymond home.
Man, I'm sitting here. All right, we got to get out of here. You know what? I'm kind of for that one, man. Just don't punch nobody. But I'm for that one. Chase is looking at me. You got somebody who wants Draymond Green to punch on this Pistons team.
I mean, you
don't
can take his place, but if they're gonna be on the if they're gonna be on the same team and he's gonna play like that, then absolutely punch him every fucking game.
Y'all remember when it was a possibility, the rumors came out, and I'm just sitting here now like, man, which four?
Those two would not gel
Defensive-minded
together.
and physical Draymond or Tobias?
Draymond.
Let's just get the chest pass
The answer is
going.
always whatever is not Tobias.
Chase would start Draymond right now over Tobias. That's a little crazy.
I mean, I probably would too.
Boy, we got to do it on camera.
Chase would start Flannel Sam over Tobias
That's
right
a
now.
fact.
Yes.
now. Hey.
I'd give you 26 million, Sam.
Thank you.
I love the WUW Crew, man. I love the chat family as always. The Tiger segment was fire, Flannel. I'm glad we made that decision. That you made a decision. Hey, let's move that up a little bit. And I know we got tomorrow. We can definitely talk about the expectations for one Sonic, aka Jahmyr Gibbs, because he's just speed now. That's what he's known as.
Got a couple of things we saved, which I'm excited about.
I'm excited. I know it helps you too.
All good. All
Right,
good. All
right.
good.
Hey, shout out to you guys, chat family. As always, y'all are the most important part of this thing. So smash that like button to show that you guys and represent that you guys were here. Cavassier Chase, man, great job today, brother.
Hey, what
I know
up,
you
though?
always working hard, even if people don't see it.
Yeah, I'm on the computer all the time. I'm mostly Chase GPT for you guys, but thanks for stepping in, guys. Hope you guys have a good one. 51 minutes away from Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards. You got heavyweights. We're almost to the end of the week. Friday Junior right now, so stay tapped in. Look forward to having a good rest of the week with you guys. Shout out my dad. Shout out the guys at Seymour Ford. Shout out Greg, all the Jack boys. Greg from Jackson too. So hope you have a good one, man. Hope you stay tapped in. Hope you feel the love from the chat and the WUW family.
Yeah.
And safe travels on your way to see your sister as well, my guy. And like I said, stay tapped in. We got the whole crew here to be with you throughout the day and the rest of the chat. So hope you guys have a good one and stay blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, this elite booth we got in the sound booth, Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. You already know, rookie of the year, going for MVP.
Not Kelvin Shepard, too. So y'all stop with that, man.
Yeah, okay. He got the job. And,
Right.
and he told us in advance, hey guys, I'm not gonna be here for Friday and Monday. And all of a sudden, boom.
Listen, man, the day you present the tapes is the day I'll admit I'm Kelvin Shepard, all right? Can we work off that? All right, but anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We absolutely appreciate you sticking with us through the technical difficulties, man, and, through all the tragic news as well. Once again, thoughts and prayers to everybody going through that situation out in D.C. And shout out to my team, man. I love y'all. Let's keep this shit rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's go. WUW Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is J.B. Smooth. What up, though?
Once again, another great show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Greg. Safe travels, man, as you travel down to D.C. Prayers up to everyone in D.C. as well, too. I know it's a tragedy that happened last night, but so we're all praying and working through it all as one. So just know we're thinking about you. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. No, Chuck, I'm not changing the base defense. It will still be 4-3, okay?
Shout out to WUW Sports and Wake Up WUW. Better the squad, man. Better the network. Flannel Sam, All Sports Network. He got his Flannel Angelo today. His GM Flannel, play-by-play Flannel. We got several flannels today, man.
Oh, yes, and including one that I had retired for a while, but is now back, Mr. Flannel Bean. But, man, if the Red Wings win tonight, it's going to be a show tomorrow.
Let's rock.
It's going to be a show.
Let's rock.
It'll be a show regardless, but that'll be
I need a
huge.
victory
You know I'm
show.
going to be texting you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. We appreciate you guys greatly for being here. It's been a great start for our morning, and I hope it's been a better one for you all. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder and that dude Justin, man. We love you guys, and we're going to have to plan something to get everybody together. Shout out to just Pete, too, man. I love you, Pete Spivak.
Yes.
He texted last night, man. Shout out to Pete, man.
Give Pete his flowers, man.
Definitely,
for sure.
man. That's why shout out to Pete. Just overall, one of those just good people. Every time he's around, the vibes are always great. And once again, just to prayers and thoughts and the best of vibes, and just our heart out to those that have been affected by the airplane and the helicopter crash that happened out in the DMV area, man. So just Greg, somebody who we know in our chat family that was directly impacted by that. Again, our hearts go out to you.
Yes.
And safe travels as you go out to support some of those people that have been affected, including one of your friends. So thank you guys. Have a blessed day. Think of somebody else. It's been Wake Up Woodward.